is the Big O Show. This 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 is
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Alrighty, welcome aboard, baby. It is time to rock and roll on a beautiful afternoon. I know it might be raining outside, but when you're at Hialeah Park, it's always a beautiful afternoon because it rains money inside Hialeah Park. Yeah, loosest slots in the entire state. That's what it's all about. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. It is happy hour live from Hialeah Park, where we're hanging out with all of you. Come on by and say hi. We're out here at the beautiful poker room. The lovely ladies will bring you drinks and food, and you got the TVs going on. So if anything's going on sports-wise, you can keep up with tracks all across the country. We've got the Champions Sports Bar there. You can make some wagers. We've got, of course, the gaming action downstairs. We've got over 900 machines. So come on out and join us. Plenty of seats out here to enjoy the show if you want. You can actually have some great food. I'm going to have the chicken sandwich later. I love the chicken sandwich here. Way they toast that bread perfectly. The tomatoes are seasoned. I love when they do things like that. It's just good, man. It's just good. Anyway, so we're out here at Hialeah Park like we normally are. Thursdays now. I'm even getting used to it. Sometimes I forget. Like my wife goes, so you get to sleep in? I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm on in the afternoons. So it was actually good to sleep in a little bit last night. That was good. That was good. I can always use a little sleep in time. That is fantastic. And since I don't have to take my daughter to school like I did for, I don't know, 12 years in a row or 13 years in a row, if you throw in kindergarten and all that good stuff. No, actually I didn't do kindergarten. The wife did kindergarten. So I only did first grade on, actually. I remember that. Now that I remember that, yeah. First grade on was my responsibility. Anyway, so appreciate all of you out there. Interesting Wednesday, man, with all the economic numbers coming out, some of them bad, a couple of them good. The markets all went down, and then the markets all responded. Stock market, crypto market. Bitcoin was at 19.1 yesterday at like 4:30. And then it dropped to 18.3 today. Anybody take advantage? And then it popped up now to like 19.6, 19.7, much higher than it was yesterday, actually. So those of you that bought the dip, you never know. We might have some other dips because I don't think, I keep telling you that this thing's going to last for a few more months. We're going to go into next year. I think, when we really start to get out of this funk, I think we start to get out of this funk in April and in May of next year. Sometime in that second quarter is when I think we start to get out of this funk. But 23 is going to be rough, I think. But we'll see. You never know. Sometimes there are things you can't predict. And the market is one of those things that you can't predict. But we've got to get the supply chain thing fixed. We got to get oil fixed, all that kind of stuff. But it was interesting to watch the markets kind of take a dip. And then it looked to me like the whales and the smart money jumped in, took advantage of the dip, and it came right back up again. So I just it's usually the soft hands that panic and sell and aren't strong enough to hodl and fight through the tough times. You know what I'm saying? But listen, investing is not for everybody. You've got to be pretty tough in order to do it. Steve Chapman, I see, was the first one in. He's looking forward to a good game from Skyler, he says. Mike Honcho says, any idea when the Big O is starting? Any idea? You have no idea?
Still waiting on that guy.
Okay. What a slacker that guy is. Damn. Does that guy ever
probably
work?
Overslept.
Probably. Yeah. That's a good call on your part right there. Yeah.
Although that's hard to do when you don't really sleep.
Yeah. Yep. Honcho then goes on to say, good afternoon, everyone. Big O, nice that we can have conversation about how the coach will spend the week tailoring the game plan for Skylar. Last year, coach, not smart enough for that. No, sir. Not Mike. And I'm on now, Mike, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but I'm on now. Okay? We're on. Lisa Rose in the house. Keith Giles. Gus 1388. King Short. Rosendo says, good afternoon, Big O Nation, on this Thursday, rainy afternoon in South Florida, of course, because, we got people listening all over the United States and the world. May God's blessing abound to you in every little way so you never lack reason to smile. Go Fins. We got this one, or this win. Yes, sir.
So Barry Jackson posted a few minutes ago. Tyreek Hill. Seemingly with tongue-in-cheek, he did surface it, rephrase it with, said ping pong table actually was removed because it was bent, and he's buying a nicer one.
Oh, okay.
Because that took over the news yesterday. The news cycle was about the ping pong table.
Yeah, let's take it. It's distracting them.
Skylar Thompson didn't make the news cycle. The ping pong table did.
So, it's just sensationalism.
So there's your update on the ping pong table.
Sensationalism at its finest. No, it's not that the two tackles are missing. It's not that you're playing with second and third string tackles. No. It's not that the two corners are missing. No. It's not that, Tua Tagovailoa is missing. No, of course not. It's the ping pong table. It's the ping pong table. Oh my God! What rap sheet?
Rappaport Halabib, our good buddy, said he sent out a tweet, and then Rappaport retweeted it or quote tweeted it. I'm sorry. I need more ping pong news.
Yes,
I'm telling you, it's going all the way up. It's up the whole chain.
That's right. I think they should actually drop the ping pong table and just add pong. That's it, bro. Let's take it all the way back to the original Pong. And that's it. They can play that way. Okay?
Tyreek Hill had to go on to say, it's just a pastime, and that it in no way interferes with football preparation. I mean, come on. Did anybody really think because the ping pong table was in there is why they're not playing good?
Hey, Raekwon, you got to go to a meeting. No, come on, bro. What are you talking about? I'm hot, bro. I've won 8 in a row. I'm not going to that meeting. Come on. Teddy didn't last more than a play because his arm was worn out from ping pong. That's really the truth. It's not that he hit the ground or concussion or any of that stuff. No. He had a dead arm from ping pong. He was in an all-night tournament the night before. They were drinking, they were playing ping pong, and they were also playing, what's that thing you do with the coin? That it's kind of with the beer and the coin, you bounce it off the table and a beer pong. Is
that quarters?
Or quarters. Or
isn't it
also called beer pong?
Possibly. I haven't played that.
Quarters, beer pong. They did that too at the same time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that could explain.
That's why Teddy, this whole thing about concussion protocol, taxis, and all. No, dude, it was called hangover, ping pong hangover, and so they had to eliminate the table.
That was the non-stumble.
That's it. That was a non-stumble. That was it. He was like, "Damn, I shouldn't have played all that ping pong last night. I'm worn out. It wasn't about the hit or anything like that. It was all pong." Lester Madriz is in. Wild season. Yeah, I call it unlucky right now. That's all it is. I'm not panicking, and I'm not worried about all of this stuff. Get the Dolphins healthy, and they'll get back to winning again. It's pretty simple. Stetson O is in the house. Fins Up 71 is in. Because I didn't know if you're going to have a show today. I could tell, you can always tell the people that really don't listen every day or just kind of listen to a segment, that kind of, like one guy goes to me, "Hey, whatever happened to Omar?" And I'm like, okay, you could tell, like, you never really watched the show. You probably just watch the Omar segment is the only thing you download. That's the thing about what we do. We kind of spoil people because we a la carte the thing. And so if you just want to hear Craig Mish's segment and you're just a baseball guy, then that's it. You'll do it. And by the way, he'll be on with us tomorrow. And so that's kind of what it is. But the people that actually listen to the show, they get all the nuances and the news and everything that's going on with the show and the changes and all. They know. The people that don't know, like people still will read. Obviously, this is news switching over to the afternoon now. But hey, you're not on Thursdays anymore. It's like
there was a whole chat going early on.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, it might be at the beginning of the chat here.
Oh, okay.
On my end, because I can see.
Okay. But that's
very beginning.
That's funny. Brian Ratke is in. Fins up 71 to Extreme. Cap for Life. Francisco Garcia. Isaiah Bofil. Brian Walters. Giovanni is in. What? You got something for me?
I was gonna Kyle Krabs.
Yes.
Is he where's he his affiliation?
It's a Locked On podcast. He's on the Locked On Network or whatever, that stuff.
Okay, are you diving into something right here, or can I?
No,
can
go
I
ahead.
Go
ahead.
something on Twitter here.
I'm just screwing around. Go ahead.
Okay, so Alfredo Arteaga about an hour ago.
Yes.
He says, "Wait, now Pro Football Talk says Tua is not 190 pounds, implying he is lighter." And then he said Tua is every bit of 220, weight verified through 230, and was told too heavy as a sophomore. Now you're saying he's not 190. This is now nefarious and targeted, personal. Then somebody, of course, tagged at Perform, and then Alfredo said, reach out to these people. This is beyond pale. Pro Football Talk now advocating to treat Tua's head injury differently than anybody else because he has in his head that Tua is some child-sized anomaly. Then Nick asked where they say that.
Have they ever been around Tua? Have they stood
that was
next
the thing,
to the
yeah.
guy?
I mean, but then Kyle Krabs jumped on, and the reason I asked is because of what he says here, which is very interesting. He says PFT has been personal with Tua ever since Sims and Florio started lapping up whatever Flo was willing to dish their way from the very beginning.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe some of the Sims Florio is
yeah, but I mean to say he's 190, it just shows how you have like no credibility and you're just I told you guys want to follow all this crap that's just, bait click crap or clickbait stuff, right? That's how it's pronounced. You go ahead, man. You want to watch all those kind of shows, Cow Turd and all that. That's all they're trying to do, man. Let's find a way to get a rise out of you. And 190 pounds now. Now they're saying he's 190 pounds. He's less than
saying he's not 190. So I meaning they're saying he's less than 190 pounds.
It's just I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this, and it's and you know what's gone on a lot in the media too now is unfortunately because you're not held accountable for your bad reports, your reports that are off, and then your analysis or what the things you say, you're not held accountable. So then it doesn't matter in the end, right? And then no matter how many stupid things they say, you keep listening, you keep downloading, you keep watching, and that's all they care about. They just care about the numbers because then they can go to the sponsors and say, hey, we've got these many eyes on it, this many ears on it. Check it out. And so they don't care what they do, and they're not held accountable to it. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm going to have fun with the whole Tua thing, because as he develops, and he's already proven that he can play better than a lot of people said, and better than obviously the guys at PFT, because they look really stupid, right? Because they were anti-Tua guys. So now, because you lost that argument, now you've got to use the injury stuff. You got to try to find something else to justify your argument. But you already lost your argument, okay? All of you that were anti-Tua people, you all lost your arguments already, because your arguments were that he's too short, that his arm is not strong enough, that he can't run a high-powered offense, all the stupid shit that I heard Adam Beasley say, okay? He's one of them. He said a lot of stupid shit about Tua that was wrong, but he's not held accountable for it. And his editor is not going to care that he's constantly writing stuff that is wrong. You're not held accountable for it. They just care about the clicks. So if Beasley pissed off enough Dolphin fans, they read it, they clicked it, and then they saw it. That kind of stuff. So then Florio and the Sims goofball, those idiots, they do the same thing all around the league about different things, and they don't care. They'll throw 8,000 things that are wrong, and then Florio will get one or two of them right every once in a while. And so they don't care about that because it's not hell. You guys don't hold people accountable. You guys keep them out on top. They actually make more money and are more popular by doing that. Do what we do is not popular. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want you to downplay the honesty. They don't want you to do any of that. They want you to sensationalize everything. And that's not what I do on this channel. I refuse to sensationalize it. I'll give you my opinion on it, but I'm not trying to bait your ass. That's not what I need to do. And I'm proud of it. I'm happy that I've carried myself the way I have for 30 years, and I didn't cow down to the corporate idiots, and I wasn't their puppets. Like most people that have had to be in radio have had to be a puppet. Okay? And almost everybody on television is a puppet for their agendas. I have never been that, and I never will be that. And thank the Lord now, obviously, with the way things have gone and your support, I don't have to do this. And I can stay just telling you honestly what the hell I think is going on. That's it. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to sensationalize anything. Sorry. That's not my style. Yes, sir.
So I went to the Miami Dolphins roster page. They have Tua at 217.
Yeah.
So
he looks like he's right around there.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Yeah.
His lower body is very...
And he's not as skinny as people think something like that. I mean...
When you see him his arms are not, they're not cut. They're not in...
Yeah, no, he's not...
but the rest of him is pretty built.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's just...
Like I said, his lower body is just... he gets some power from the legs.
Just crazy, ridiculous. Cap for Life says, Orlando Real Talk, what do you say to those fans that believe the O-line is at fault for what happened in the Cincinnati game? The new narrative is bashing the O-line. Cap for Life, what do you want me to do, bro? I hate to say it, but a lot of fans really don't know what's going on. Do you know I had a guy yesterday on Twitter say to me, well, we need to go bring Dieter, you saw it, right? Move Dieter to center and move Williams to guard. And I'm like, thank God, thank the football gods, you're not in charge. And he had I didn't correct him or anything like that because we're at a point in this world that there are people you can't correct. And it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And then I don't know if others ended up correcting him because I didn't follow it. I just I just answered him and I left it and I'm done with you. Because it just, Connor Williams is kicking like major ass at center. He's like one of the 5 best centers in the NFL. I think he's actually top 3. But for argument's sake, he's one of the 5 best centers in the NFL. So, Cap for Life. I got people that still want to move Connor Williams. And then they want to put Dieter at center, which they're not even sure if he can be a great center. But yet Connor Williams is playing. But just because there's a couple of snaps that aren't perfect, they're not actually watching the blocking. Okay, and then you don't understand the game that the most important piece in the interior is the center, not the guards. So if Connor Williams is your best player, he's fine exactly where he's at. In fact, it was a genius move on their part to sign Connor Williams and then move him over to center. It was a gamble, but it has worked out magnificently. And again, Cap for Life, against the Cincinnati game, we have proved it over and over again. Let everybody else play sensationalist. We will play reality. Tua Tagovailoa hung onto the ball for over 5 seconds. That's what happened on Thursday night. Had nothing to do with Sunday. Has nothing to do with the concussion protocol. But if they want to go after the NFL and the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel and the sensationalistic way, then go ahead and go for it. But I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what Tua's problem is. And I don't need anybody to tell me anything different because it's all there on film. So, Cap for Life, sorry, dude. It's up to all of you to decipher and figure out who you want to listen to. Who do you think actually is going to give you honest talk and tell you what's going on, and they're not looking just for clicks and hits? It's up to you. But if you want to go down that path, which most of America does, that's why we keep tabloids alive, and that's why the Kardashians are where they are, because of our society, and this is just the way we are. But I want no part of that. Okay? No part of it. Big O, do you think the guy you blocked yesterday is listening to any rock and roll today? What was the name of the idiot we blocked yesterday? Revis. That's it. Yes. I don't know, but he should. It would help. Speaking of rock and roll, very depressing. You saw it. Greta Van Fleet had to cancel their appearance in Estero, Florida. I was going to be there next Saturday, right when I got off the post-game show. I was driving to Estero for the concert, but the arena is still being used as a shelter for, obviously, our West Coast Floridians, and it's incredibly understandable. It sucks personally for us rock and rollers. I still get to see them at the in Hollywood at the Hard Rock, but I could always use a second appearance. Although, on Tuesday they're at the Hard Rock, and then Wednesday they're in Tampa. I could get off at 1:00, drive up to Tampa, see the show in Tampa, then go to sleep at a hotel there, wake up in the morning, drive back because I'm not on till the afternoon at 3:00. I could do that. I can't get enough Greta Van Fleet. So back-to-back nights in Hollywood and Tampa. What say the crowd right now on the chat board? Should I make the road trip to see Greta Van Fleet on Wednesday in Tampa? What do you think? I'm seeing them on Tuesday at the Hard Rock. Should I make the effort and get in a car and go see one of my favorite young bands out there on Wednesday? What say the folks on YouTube right now? And listen, if you listen to the podcast later on, say yay or nay, because I might be I might do that.
And also, just because we've got a lot of new listeners. Remember, we were in Vegas for the Heat Summer League, and you went and saw Morrissey 3 days in a row.
Yes.
3 days in a row.
3 out of 4 days.
Well, no, 3 out of 4, but 3 days in a row. Yes. Because I got there Thursday. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes.
You went to see.
Yeah,
Morrissey.
Thursday, Friday, Sunday, maybe it might have been. Or Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe. There was a day in between that I didn't go.
You might be right.
He didn't perform 3 straight days. He had a day off in between.
Okay.
He had a day, and I was.
But to put that into perspective for everybody, thinking why go see somebody 2 times in a row?
Oh no, definitely. I'll see Greta 10 times in a row. I love Greta Van Fleet. Love Greta. Tua will be back on primetime against the Steelers next week. Gonna light it up and silence the haters. Also, get our season back on track. That's my prediction. Way to go, Anthony. You're 2 weeks behind my prediction, but way to go. It's all good. But I'm with you. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Very nice of you. And they say, only live once. Do it. Yes. Raging Maniac says, wonder what Big O will say. Mine is Molly Hatchet. Ooh. Yeah, but we don't have like the original Hatchet. You know what I mean? If you got Danny Joe Brown, I love Molly Hatchet. I'm a big Molly Hatchet guy. Love Molly Hatchet.
Got some listeners offering up for you to stay with them.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. Shut it down. Shut down the engines. Enjoy yourself, Big O. Never heard one of their songs. Well, go listen to Highway Tune. Greta Van Fleet, Highway Tune. All right? Do me a favor. And then Greta Van Fleet, Black Smoke Rising. All right? Do that. And then come back to me. Go on YouTube right now. Do it. Highway Tune. Do it.
Zukoku 40 is the one who said that.
Let me see. Where is he at?
You can stay at my house, Big O.
There you go. Look at that. I even got somewhere to stay. Big O, I haven't listened to a ton of Greta Van Fleet, but from what I've heard, they're a carbon copy of Led Zeppelin. They made your difference. Well, see, Brian, you didn't listen to the new album, which has no sound. It does have a Zepp influence in it. But here's the part that I always laugh about this. And here's the part that's really dumb on people that say that, okay? And you don't realize it until I explain this to you. You can sound like anybody. You can have influences of the Beatles, of Kanye West, of Rihanna, of whatever. You can sound like anybody. You still got to write great music. You're not doing a what's that called when you redo a song? What's that called? A remake, right? It's not remakes. These are original songs made by them. Now, do some of the songs in their first album have Zeppelin influence? Hell yeah. But you still have to write the music. You can sound like whoever you want. Doesn't mean it's going to sound good. You still got to put together the lyrics. You still got to put the harmonies together. You still have to sound excellent together with all the instruments. So you can be influenced by whoever the hell you want. Whitesnake, listen to early Whitesnake, and you'll hear Coverdale's voice sound plantish. But it's still Whitesnake. You know what I'm saying? The Monkees, hey, we're the Monkees. It sounds very Beatles-ish, but it's still their own music, and it still sounds great. So Last Train to Clarksville or whatever, it's still great music. So that's the part that I always love. It's so lazy of the music fan to say, oh, but it sounds like this. Okay, but they still wrote the effing music. They still created it on their own. It doesn't matter if it's influenced. Things are influenced all the time. We can come up with artists who are influenced by others, and you'll hear it in their music, but they still created the music themselves. So that's the part that's kind of, oh, well, they're influenced by Zepp. Okay, so I'm not going to listen to them. Well, no, listen to the music. The music is phenomenal. Go listen to Jake Kiszka, the guitarist. He's phenomenal. Go listen to Joshua Kiszka, the singer. He can take it to levels that are just absolutely awesome. Okay? And I've watched them at Red Rocks. So to me, that's a lazy take when they say, oh, well, they sound like this or they sound like that. I can go over all kinds of bands that have sounds that influence from other bands, songs, but it doesn't take away from the music that they wrote. If it was a remake, well, then that's different. Then, yeah, you sound like Zeppelin because you did a Zeppelin song. None of these songs are Led Zeppelin songs. So when you hear Highway Tune, yeah, you're going to hear some Zeppelin, but you're also going to hear their own tune, and you're going to go, wow, that sounds phenomenal. And that's the key. That, to me, is the part that sounds weak, And tribute is, again, remakes. Know the definition between original music and tribute. So let's see. Whoever decides to imitate Kanye, please do it in another country. I beg you. I think if Burrow or Herbert would have come here instead, they would also have a Tua-like start, and Tua would be balling for other teams. Dysfunctional franchise. The Dolphins aren't dysfunctional right now. The football people aren't dysfunctional. The owner is dysfunctional. Chris Greer is not dysfunctional. He's trying to do his job, dude. I'm not exactly sure you know what you're watching, because that doesn't make any sense. Okay? It's because you had an owner that was allowing that to become dysfunctional. That's because Stephen Ross is dysfunctional. But if you leave Greer and Allen and McKenzie alone, the franchise is fine. They've proven it over and over again in a very short time. The football people know what they're doing. It's the other people around that are screwing it up, led by the owner. And so hopefully you can get rid of the two idiots and they're not in the picture anymore. That would be really important. What's up with the Zeppelin reunion, dude? It's Plant holding everything up. And it was supposed to be like a 10 and 10. 10 dates in Europe, 10 dates in the U.S., and he keeps holding it all up, dude. It's all set. Everybody else is willing to do it. He will not, he keeps shitting on it, man. It's the weirdest thing with Plant, dude. The weirdest thing. Only 20 dates. 10 on each side. That's it. And he won't do it. It's the craziest thing. And they have it all set up and they've talked about it and all that. And it was getting close. It was close to happening. But he, I don't know if you remember, he came out with some comments like about 2 months ago, and it was coming off of that. And it was coming off of that stuff that they had talked about, and he kind of, and this is not the first time. He's killed it several times, but this time it was like, all right, just a short tour. And what a sucks. I wonder if they'll sing Hotel Hollywood, Florida instead of California. Huh? Hotel Hollywood instead of Florida. I'm talking about the Eagles. Red Rocks is a cool place, even when there's no show happening. And it's actually true. It's actually a very interesting place to go visit, just to see it empty and see what it looks like, because there's nothing like it. I agree with you on that. I agree wholeheartedly on that one. By the way, we're going to be at Walk-Ons on Saturday. Walk-Ons will open up at 11 a.m. The Canes and Vatek will start at 12:30. Our pregame show will start off at 10:30. And by the way, they've got game day vodka specials, $5.50, 12 to 9 p.m. They've got a big Halloween event coming up, $100 for the best decorated trunk. Costume contest. Kids will eat free with paying adults. They've got the best happy hour in town. Check it out. And by the way, they are at off of 162nd and Kendall Drive also. They've got the Big Wave Beer Conga Girls. They'll be there on Monday, the 17th. Karaoke nights, October 18th this week. Upcoming Latin night with DJ Drock, October 19th. So check it out, folks. And they've got 2 locations in Kissimmee and in Orlando also. 8151 International Drive in Orlando and 3177 Black Lake Road in Kissimmee. So those are the 3 locations of Walk-Ons in Florida. You can check them out, folks. Delicious food, 44 beers on tap, 94 TVs to watch your favorite sports. And we'll be there, by the way, on Saturday, starting off at 10:30, Mike McCoy and myself, and we'll get it going over there at Walk-On. So come on out, man. 9065 Southwest 167th Avenue. We're going to have Perdomo cigar giveaways, not cigars, that's illegal, but, hats, cutters, T-shirts, stuff like that. They're going to give us Caneswear. They're going to give us some stuff to give away, so we'll be giving away Canes stuff also. And Edge Energy Drink, baby. We're going to have free samplings out there, so you can enjoy the Edge Energy Drink Miami Hurricanes pre- and post-game show at Walk-Ons in Kendall. So all kinds of giveaways. Come on out and join us at Walk-Ons in Kendall, all right, this Saturday, starting off at 11 a.m. The Assault, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. In Excess was awesome. You know, that's one band that I screwed up. I never saw live. I never saw In Excess live. Sucks. I've watched so many of their concerts on YouTube. A lot of them I've watched live. I'm an enormous In Excess fan, and one way or another, I didn't. When Michael was alive, I never took advantage and went to see In Excess. And I kind of take that for granted that I didn't do it, because that is, I mean, they're so awesome. They have so many amazing hits, so many great songs. You know, I would have loved to see To Look At You in live. That's my favorite song from Shabu Shaba, To Look At You. That's not necessarily one of their more popular songs. That's more for In Excess hardcore fans. They know To Look At You. Average fans, they've never heard the song. They don't know it whatsoever. Anyway, what else do we have here going on? From what I've seen from Tua so far, I don't see him going anywhere soon, because keeping him allows us to build the O-line correctly, fix the CB room, and give us more than competent play at QB. Yeah. As I said the other day, you can go ahead and look at the field or look at Tua. And the rest is elementary, my dear Watson. So let's talk a little Tua. Let's talk a little. Let's talk about false narratives. Why don't we? Okay. So first of all, let's bring up video one. As Tua shows up at practice yesterday, and the reaction as you see him there talking with teammates. We don't need the audio down there. We don't need the audio. But there's Tua, dabbing it up there. There's a little Javon Holland, right? Talking with one of the guys, obviously going around and talking to different guys, right? So, and that's not an offensive guy. That's Javon Holland there, right? As Tua's back at practice. You see the guys all saying hi to him. They're all looking his way, that kind of stuff as he goes by, all that kind of stuff. Now, let's look at video number 2. There you go. Little Tua dabbing up the boys. So now here's video number 2. And video number 2 has Tua and Teddy and other things. But you've got, the two, talking to each other and all that good stuff as Tua's back at practice. Sean will bring up that video now, and you can check it out. Again, we'll eliminate the sound. And, I want to show these videos that came out yesterday because I think it's really important for context, because we have people, again, that will say things that are inaccurate and they're just not true. And here you see him hanging out there with Teddy and talking with Teddy. And obviously throwing it around and all that good stuff. So he's back on the field. So it's good to have him back on the field. It's you could tell that there was a lift. You look around, there were smiles when people kind of interacted with him or he came by or anything that was going on, right? So now let's play video number 3. And here's number 3. And I think this is Safadine, I think it might have been. I'm not exactly sure which one it was, but there's, Tua and Waddle. Okay? And so Waddle is happy that Tua is there. So Waddle goes out of his way to go say hi to Tua at practice, right? So Sean will show us that video now. And it's important to see all of these kind of things, because Sean and I have told you when we go into the locker room, okay, we can't film it. They don't allow us to film inside the locker room except if it's specifically for an interview and it's, closed up, but you can't show any of the action. Not that there's action, but whatever's going on in the locker room, you just can't film it or take pictures of it. You're not allowed. Okay, they'll boot your ass out of there faster and you'll never get back in again if you do stuff like that. So you look at this video and you see Tua and Waddle, and obviously Waddle goes out of his way to go out there and say hi to Tua, right? Because he's happy that Tua's back. And so I go back to narratives. And the narratives, like I had a discussion with Adam Beasley that he doesn't socialize. And I told them, well, wait a minute, he just took the guys out for dinner, paid for the Uber ride. He's at Tyreek's house. Tyreek's at his house. And he was like, like this. And then you see this. And then you've got my man Omar, who's coming back next week, and he's saying Tua's a weirdo. And that his teammates, don't socialize with him, and which is all bullshit. It's all crap. Tua's always been a social guy behind the scenes. He was a very social guy behind the scenes in Alabama, but he's a private guy. Did he not tell us in a press conference that I only let the people inside my circle that matter to my world, correct?
Yes.
Do we matter?
No.
No. And you know what's going on too? Some of the media's butthurt about this. Butthurt that they're not getting the Tua one-on-ones. That maybe Tua's agent's not talking to them and giving them anything. That Tua's not giving them anything. That maybe his trainer's not giving him anything. Whatever. I don't know, Nick. I don't know if they bother you too, my brother. But there's a lot of that going on. Notice Tyreek. I told you this a couple weeks back. Notice Tyreek, Waddle, and Tua aren't doing anything national. Why? Because people talked a lot of crap early on. And so now they shut them up, but now now they're clamoring for you. Oh, now they want you. And now negativity, now they'll tear you down. And they see all of that. And Tua has seen all of that. And so that's why he's protective of all of this. Do you blame him? No. I had a Dolphin official tell me about this. Like, oh, no, they're not doing it national. I told the Dolphin official, I don't blame him. That doesn't help me in the media, by the way. Okay? But it's not like my show is going to live or die because I got a Waddle or a Tyreek or a Tua interview. Would I like to interview him? Of course, I would love to bring him on the show. But I get what they want to do. And I understand. And they don't know that I'm the supportive guy. They have no idea. So I don't matter to them. And that's fine, dude. That's fine. I just want them to do well. I want them to have some fun. I want them to bring wins for you guys out there. That's all I want. I'm not here to sensationalize this whole bullshit or try to, make a name for myself by tearing somebody else down or something. I don't need that, dude. And, when I'm going to talk about you, it's because it's a fact. Just like as much as I'm a supporter of Tua, I seem to be the only guy talking about what the real issue with Tua is. It's funny. Just weird. But for the narrative out there that he doesn't socialize and that his teammates don't know him that well and this and that. Yeah. Are they all hanging out with him every night and going? Probably not. But do they know him? Do they get to socialize? Of course, dude. Because he's the guy that goes to check up on you all the time. He did it at Alabama. He was notorious for that at Alabama. Yet they want to make the narrative that, he doesn't socialize. Again, I've never seen more unfair treatment and double standard than I ever have seen with Tua Tagovailoa. Never seen it in my life. First time ever. It's just weird how he gets one kind of treatment and everybody else gets something completely different. I can't explain it, to be quite honest with you. I have a hard time actually understanding how Tua gets treated like this. Be quite frank. Yes, sir. What you got?
I'm just looking in the chat, and somebody, of course, said Fitzpatrick got the interview.
Huh? Right. Exactly.
Because he's a former player.
Right.
And they were close.
And they were close. Exactly.
And you saw that when they played the ukulele.
He loves Fitz.
Yeah, he's probably in that little bit of a circle.
He's in that circle. Right. Nobody else gets it. Nobody's getting him. Nobody. No media guy. Fitz is not a media guy. Okay? All right? Fitz is a former player, former teammate. You know what I mean? So, apples and oranges, ladies and gentlemen. But that's it. Look, eventually, one of them will do something with somebody, I'm sure. And it'll be Tyreek. Probably be Tyreek eventually.
I got to believe, if they do go on a run and, again, the primetime games, they're always, somebody's going to have to do
Monday night.
Something. The Sunday night game coming up with the Steelers. Yeah.
The playoffs, you're going to have to do something.
A player's going to have to go, which is why, again, Tua did that with Fitzpatrick on the Thursday night game.
Right.
That
Thursday
was
night.
the one. What else did you really see?
Right. And I bet you he said, yeah, he'll do it, but only with Fitz. I bet you. So it's whatever, man. Narratives are built, and the beauty is we have torn them down over and over and over again. And it's not fun. And it doesn't bring you hits, and it doesn't bring you the extra views. You know what's going to bring me the extra views? Me trashing Tua. That's what's going to bring the extra views. But I'm not going to do that. Now, I will be critical of him and say, brother, I need you to get rid of the ball. You got to get rid of the ball. You got to learn. That is my legitimate critique of Tua. That's it. Anyway, Brian Ratke says Tua could be a future Hall of Fame QB. I'm sad he won't last and will get hurt again because he won't protect himself. That high school video is stuck in my head. Yeah, it bothers me too, because if you don't respond to your dad, and years later, and you're suffering all these brutal injuries, it's the weirdest thing in the world. I will ask him next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'm sure he's talking. After witnessing Tua's incident on the field, if there is a section that wants to create sick propaganda that his teammates don't give a shit, I hope for forgiveness from God for you people. Denardo Joseph, how are you doing health-wise, Big O and Sean? I woke up. We're here. That's all we can say, my brother. When the good Lord calls for us, we will have no choice, and we will have to go. You know what I'm saying? But we're trying our best to stick around as much as we can, man. Big O, what do you make of the Dan Snyder news? Ooh, I'm glad you asked. So, let's get into a little Dan Snyder talk. So, we got the... Yes? Oh. Frankie, by the way, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, Big O and Sean, how can I be in your inner circle? You all are already. All of you are in our inner circle.
Everybody but Frankie.
Oh, wow. You knocked him out already. Damn. By the way, was it Frankie that reminded me yesterday that my wrestling prediction?
No, it was not Frankie. It was somebody else. But listen, this is all I'll say. This is all I'm going to say.
You made fun of my picks now.
Yeah.
And my man, Chris Jericho, rocked it out, baby. He dropped the heavy metal. And he won.
Anything else you want to throw out there? Yeah.
No,
laid the hammer down. Nothing else.
Nothing else. That's it. He won. So what do you got to say now, tough guy?
AEW is a mess.
It's also root beer.
No, that's A&W.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I always
This is
get it
AEW.
confused. Oh, okay. Well, you get the E and you make it an and. That's really what they did. Those guys were like big root beer guys. They were saying, what do we name it? They had an A and W in their hand. They go, well, dude, we just make the and an E and we'll just go AEW. We do love root beer.
It's close. They had a podcast called The Elite. They were called The Elite.
The Elite?
Yeah, in the podcast, The Elite podcast. And all being the Elite, it's called Being the Elite. I'm sorry. So they took that and made it All Elite Wrestling, AEW.
He knows too much. You just know too much.
Yeah, it was the Young Bucks, Omega, and
but I
Cody
know
Rhodes.
predictions.
And then they got a money guy named Tony Khan.
Oh. And he brought the steroids?
No, he brought the money, though.
Yeah, from the steroids.
And he keeps coming.
From the steroid. Isn't that the steroid guy? Tony Khan?
No. Oh, I don't know. Is that his name, too? Tony Khan?
Wasn't he part of that?
Tony Khan is the owner is Shad Khan's son, and AEW.
Oh,
no,
definitely not. No.
Yeah, no, I was confused.
No. Shad Khan, apparently, they're good people. Apparently, they're actually really good people. So yeah, no. Yeah, sorry, wrong Khan.
Wrong Khan.
Khan.
Maybe that's Nick Khan in WWE.
Maybe it was the Khan from Star Trek. I don't know. Okay. John C., thank you for the love on the Super Chat. He says, I'm glad Omar's coming back. I was enjoying the insider segments too much while he was gone. Let's see. Let's mix it up. We are going to mix it up. I'm glad he's coming back too. When is Jericho coming on the show? I would like, I need to try to get him back on. It's hard, bro. It's hard to get Jericho on. Jesus. Every time I've gotten him on, it's been a mission, but I will try. By the way, on that phone that I lost,
Tony Zagala said Tony Khan's dad is responsible for stinky fingers.
Well, that's true. That's a good one. That is very true. Okay. All right. So you asked me about Dan Snyder, and I that was on my agenda today to talk a little bit about it. Because this is a very interesting story on many levels. And some of it I believe wholeheartedly. And this is a guy that you normally cannot believe anything that he says. Because really, Dan Snyder has no scruples and no what can I say? No credibility. Okay. So ESPN published a big ass article, right? And basically, it said that Snyder, cradling a drink in one hand, says he tells members of his inner circle about the dirt he has accumulated on fellow owners, coaches, and executives, and even his own employees. All the stuff he's learned from other sources, including private investigation firms. He never says exactly what he knows, only that in 23 years of owner of the Washington Commanders, he knows a lot. And that in a zero-sum world of billionaires, this is how you survive. Snyder told a close associate that he has gathered enough secrets to blow up several NFL owners, the league office, and even Commissioner Roger Goodell. They can't F with me, he said privately. Now, that's been our perception from day one, because we saw the emails that came out from Gruden. And that's why Congress is trying to get a hold of all the other stuff. And come on, man. This is the old boys club, the old white boys club. So there's going to be a lot of dirt. And I'm sure he knows a lot of that dirt, and I'm sure he has some proof. So he is pulling a Nino Brown, right? Oh, if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody with me. Remember that scene from New Jack City, right? And that's basically what he is. He's the drug dealer that got caught and now has to give up everybody else. But the problem is everybody else is protecting him. And it's been going on for a while now. And I don't know how you want to look at this, but maybe the NFL needs to be brought down a couple of pegs because of the way they've run roughshod through people, human beings, situations, cities, communities. They've done stuff that probably is not very desirable. They've done stuff to their own players by hiding even the information about head trauma. So, in a way, this is kind of the karma that they've built up, that they've made so much money and they're such a power. They're the most powerful league in the world, period. No soccer league in the world is more powerful than the NFL. I don't know if you guys know that, okay? There's not one soccer league that is more powerful than the NFL. Soccer is the most powerful sport in the world, but that's with several leagues combined. The NFL is the most powerful league, period. Produces more money than any league out there. And when you got money, you got power, right? What did Montana say? Once you get the power, once you get the money. Okay. So you wonder, is this karma finally biting the NFL in the ass? Because they've hidden so much from the public on all the things that have gone on and things that we have seen happen that may have been unfair or whatever. And that's the question. Now you've got an owner that probably does have some dirt, because all these owners have dirt on each other because they've all done dirty things, and some of them have done it together. And some of them as a league have agreed to do something together. And he was probably part of it also. But he doesn't care at this point because he is, excommunicado, basically. He's hated by everybody. I mean, nobody likes Dan Snyder. Except one buddy of mine that's an agent. And I don't know why I guess because he signed a bunch of his players or whatever. But there's one guy that I know that speaks highly of Dan Snyder. I'm like, yeah. But outside of that, most everybody can't stand the guy. He's a weasel. He looks like a weasel. Just look at Dan Snyder. Like, why would you even allow that guy in your league? He looks like a weasel that is going to rat on everybody. So you tell me, does the NFL need to be brought to its knees? Would you like to find out about all the dirt that's out there? Now, it could be pretty incriminating. It could be pretty devastating. It could really hurt the league maybe eventually, because so far nothing's ever hurt this league. But you wonder, has the real stuff gotten out yet that could possibly hurt the league? So the Dan Snyder situation, it's an ugly one, man. It's a really ugly one. But you just wonder, everything that's gone on with the NFL. Eventually in life, if you screw people over enough, it will catch up to you. I'm a big believer in karma. So there you go. Steven Gonzalez says, Big O, your thoughts on the Parkland shooter? I'd love to be the guy to juice him. I know they're not going to juice him. I know that they didn't give him the death penalty, which he deserves a death penalty, but I would love to be the guy that pulls the lever and juices his ass. Is that good enough for you? I have no sympathy for that guy. So there you go. You always get a guy that never gets it. The Green Lion, more powerful than FIFA? FIFA is not a soccer league. That's a governing body. Wow. They're more powerful than the Boy Scouts. Jerry Jones Day Spa. Speaking of the Day Spa, okay, let me talk about a guy that deserves, well, he does get love. He does. When he goes to the Asian Day Spa, we're talking about Robert Kraft. Okay? You were wondering where I was going with all his day spa stuff and all that, huh? You know, Robert Kraft is a horny old man. We all know that. He loves to go to his Asian day spas. He loves happy endings. After all, why would you be at an Asian day spa? You'd only go there because we love you long time. And we've caught Robert Kraft with the young blonde doing that disturbing commercial he did that just looked like a dirty old man hanging around with a young woman. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. He looked like he was a little boozed up. And there were times that I want to say after some of these games that he talked, maybe even the Super Bowl, he might have sounded a little sauced. I think so. Hey, listen, he's a guy that likes to have fun. But can I say something good about Robert Kraft? I think he's a good person overall, dude. He does a lot of good things, man. He has lent his plane out for all kinds of what's it called? Charities and what's the philanthropic opportunities. And once again, Kraft now on Wednesday donated $50 million to the Massachusetts General Hospital to continue a decade-plus effort to boost health equity, as well as fund research into sickle cell disease, a blood disorder predominantly impacting the Black community. He says, if this was a disease for white people, I think the cure would have been found already, Kraft said in an interview. I think it falls to people like myself to try to do what we can to help. And I think he was part of getting this rapper freed from jail and all that kind of stuff. I forgot was it Yeezy? Not Yeezy, not young Jeezy or whatever, something like that. Yeah, that's the guy. It was Young something or something. Not because not Yeezy is Kanye. It's somebody help me out. But the guy's, I get it. He's a patriot, and we hate the Patriots and all that good stuff. And look, I have fun with him and his Asian day spa stuff, huh? Meek Mill. That's it. That's the guy, Meek Mill. And so, we could joke around and all that stuff and have fun at his expense, but that dude's got a good heart, man. That dude has got a great heart. I remember when Haiti was having issues, he sent down the plane full of stuff to help out the Haitian community after the earthquake. He's a good man. All right, so we can have fun and we can hate him on the football side and all that stuff. But as a humanitarian, I got a lot of respect for Robert Kraft, man. And I read that story, and here's a disease that affects the community that he's not a part of, and yet he's reaching into his pocket and donating $50 million. I don't care what he's worth, man. To me, that doesn't matter. It's still $50 million, man. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So kudos to Robert Kraft, okay? I'm going to have fun with you for the rest of my life on your Asian day spa, and I will have jokes forever to go with that. But all BS aside, I got nothing but respect for that man. Because outside of the football crap that we all deal with and the silliness that we talk about every day, that's called sports, that man makes a difference in a lot of people's lives. So kudos to him, man. Props. Yes, sir.
Some Miami Heat news.
Oh, what we got?
Official, the Miami Heat have converted guard Drew Smith to a two-way contract. In addition, Miami has waived Jamari Bouye, Marcus Garrett, Michael Mulder, and Orlando Robinson.
Wow, my guy.
Yeah.
But they'll bring those guys back for
Probably G League, right?
Yeah,
they have to waive them to bring them back.
Right.
Is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah. Same as the NFL. You can't get on the practice squad until you
I was worried about the 00 show.
Yeah, no. With the 00 show, we'll return. So, All right. And the Garrett kid, man, he had a broken wrist before. He repaired the wrist, and he came back, was healthy, and then fractures his wrist again, dude. Same one. Jesus. Felt bad for the kid. That is just terrible, man. You're trying. I mean, you feel for Marcus Garrett because, listen, we all have dreams, and most of us don't get to live out our dreams because sometimes we're shooting for the stars, right? And we want to be this or we want to be that, but then maybe we got to settle for something else, you know? And when your dreams are derailed because of things that you can't control, that's really tough. You know, listen, if you're not good enough to pass the bar, then you shouldn't be a lawyer. So it's all right. If you're not smart enough to, be a doctor, then you shouldn't be one, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But when you are good enough to be a basketball player or anything else, and you suffer some kind of a debilitating injury that's stopping you from doing that, that's just devastating not to be able to chase your dream. Because the good thing about chasing your dream is you get closure. Okay? So if you wanted to be an NBA player or you wanted to be an all-star chef or something on television, but you end up being a chef at a good restaurant somewhere. Okay, you're happy with that. You didn't get to be on, your own TV show and all that kind of stuff, and that's what you aspired to, but you still tried. And for all of us, if we get to chase our dreams and we either realize them or we fall short from them because we see that we don't have enough, we can't get to it or whatever, at least we have closure and we have satisfaction in that area, no matter how disappointing it is. But when you're stopped from reaching your dream from something that's out of your control, that is obviously something that cannot be more frustrating than that. Because inside your mind, inside your heart, you know that you can get there, but something is stopping you. And that, for Marcus Garrett, I kind of, I felt so bad for him when I saw that second injury to his wrist again. GM Hindsight says, if I'm the NFL, I call Snyder's bluff because I frankly do not think the NFL cares at all. Maybe human sacrifice will stop fans from watching, but not even sure about that. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right about most of that, although I don't think, dude, the owners would have already kicked his ass out already. They would have already strong-armed his ass out. I believe he has stuff, and I believe they do care about the stuff he has because it may make the league look bad. So I as much as I can't stand that guy, he looks like the kind of guy that would have that. And he looks like the kind of guy that would search for that to have it just in case because he knows that he's a weasel. Kraft is just putting on a front. I disagree with you, Omar. He does it too consistently, my brother. Now, I get it, brother. You're a Dolphins fan, so you don't want to give another human being just because they happen to be the Patriots owner, I'm not with you there, bro. I completely disagree with you. 50 million right on. A lot of us don't want to donate $1. Exactly. So I'm a Dolphins fan living in Boston. During the pandemic, Robert Kraft sent 1.2 million N95 masks to hospital workers on his team plane. Exactly. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He does a lot of philanthropic stuff that is incredibly impressive. Having the 1% pay their fair share in taxes would wipe out almost all the serious issues our nation faces. It's cheaper for them to be philanthropists, tax breaks. Well, hey, man, listen, you want to put the people in office that want to give all those people the breaks. It is what it is, So that's how it goes. Lost $13K in 401 so far this year. Michael, Bitcoin. Not a financial advisor, just a guy that loves crypto. But all I can tell you is Bitcoin. That's all I can say. The only thing wrong with Kraft is Bill B. Exactly. There you go. I like that. Kenneth says, salute Big O from Allapattah. There you go. I'd rather the wealthy to donate as to pay taxes. Well, listen, man. They're going by the rules, the laws that are laid out. They're just taking advantage of it. Again, keep putting people in office that will give the rich the breaks. You know what ends up happening. So that's how it goes. What else do we have here that I wanted to talk about in the world of sports? Yes, sir? Oh, by the way, let's take a break. Yeah, it's true. Hour number 1 is done. And Marcel, send him a reminder there. What the hell? I'll send him a reminder. Let's give me a break here. Give us 2 minutes. Let me rest the voice. I haven't taken a break in an hour and 12 minutes. 2-minute break, and we're back right here on the Big O Radio Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed. They're breaking into my house! Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop. No, not the TV! Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you. Get out of my house! Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All right, we are back, baby, ready to rock and roll with our MyEdgeDrink.com Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. As you can see, we got
working on my Chris Collinsworth slide in, man.
There he is. I told you. Yeah, you come to South Florida, the Cubans just pollute everybody, and nobody is on time anymore, and it's just our fault. We just, you probably had a little Cuban coffee at some point while you've been here, and that's where we kind of slide in that virus that you'll never end up, going on time anywhere. So,
yeah.
When was the last time you had Cuban coffee? When was it?
Not a big coffee guy, to be honest. I maybe had it once or twice since I've been here. Last August.
That's it. Since last August, you've been polluted.
No, speaking of virus, it's not COVID, but I just feel like I got a cold like every month now. I don't think all the traveling helps, but it's been a long week.
Nature B. I'm just
telling you. Yeah, we're toughing it out, though.
No, nature. I've been taking it for 20 years. 20 years. Okay?
I've never been sick.
You've been on with me for a year. How many times do I have a cold? I think it's happened once, I think in the last year or maybe twice. No, maybe once only. And that's because I left my mouth open because I sleep with 2 fans hitting me. So I have to cover my mouth. But if I leave my mouth open and the air hits directly into my throat, that's it. I wake up the next day and that's the only reason I got it. I didn't get it from somebody else. So I'm just telling you.
Yeah, New York, I think New York City got me.
2 golden capsules every single day, bro. It boosts that immune system.
I've been hitting the airborne gummies shaped like a little orange slice, like 3 of them a day all week. And let's see, a bottle or 2 of emergency, some Zyrtec. I mean, it's the season, man.
Yeah.
I can afford to get to.
My boy Chris Thomason, who I believe covered the Dolphins for the Sun Sentinel for a short time. He's been covering the Vikings now for several years. He took a picture right now, and he says, the Vikings have not unretired Fran Tarkenton's number 10. It's Dan Chisna playing the role of Tyreek Hill on the scout team, wearing number 10.
That's smart.
Yeah, the only problem is this is the same crap as Lamar Jackson. You can't duplicate it, dude. That's why that offense works so well in the regular season, because it's so hard to prepare for it every week. Once you get to the postseason, then they can prepare for it and they shut it down. But that's the reason why it's so difficult. And Tyreek, who's going to act like Tyreek? Who's going to act like Lamar Jackson in practice? Nobody, dude. Please.
All that's going to do is get you used to looking for number 10.
Right.
That's
right.
You can't replicate that speed. You can't replicate that type of playmaking ability. You can try.
No.
You can try, though.
And can I get racial? They got a white dude doing it. Come on, bro. Come on.
Man. Fast is fast, baby. Fast is fast.
He ain't fast. He ain't that fast. Okay. I'm not sure if I know a white dude that fast. Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who's
Ryan Swoops ran at 4.25.
Who was it? Who's the bad white dude that was really fast? Who?
Ryan Swoops from Texas A&M ran a 4.25.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
And then I think a neck injury or something like that ended his career.
He did. He did run. I don't know if it was 4.2, but yeah, I remember him being a fast guy.
It was 4.25 or 4.35, man.
It's a 4.3. Yeah.
Let me see.
4.2 is sick. But yeah, there's only a couple of those guys in the history of the game that had those cat-like quicknesses of Tyreek Hill in the shade of white. And so I'm just saying, yeah, I'm with you. It's just that you see 10, see that number, burn it into your mind.
Make
don't sure forget. You know what 10 is the entire
Don't be
time.
The Ravens. Don't forget where number 10 is.
I thought the kid did all right last week. And, it was a tough situation for him to be in. What do you expect this week from Skylar now that he gets to have the game plan designed for him now this week? I would imagine he might be a little better this week, a little bit more comfortable.
375 yards, at least 3 touchdowns, maybe an interception just to keep him human. No, look, I think that I think something that nobody really considered at game time, and maybe not even up until yesterday, because I didn't think about it until I was sitting in the press conference yesterday with Mike McDaniel. Thompson went back to the sideline between every series with nobody there with him, no other quarterback there with him. The role of a backup on the sideline is invaluable in the NFL. They're their eyes on the sideline. Hey, this is what they're doing. Hey, look out for this. Or if they're a vet talking to a younger guy, maybe try X, Y, Z. Like, there's nothing for him there on the sideline. It was coach talk, and then right back out on the field. So it was an impossible situation. Look, after the Bills game, we sat on this show and we said, injuries aren't an excuse. Injuries aren't an excuse. They're still not. But the closest thing that an injury gets to being an excuse is when it happens to your quarterback. And damn sure when it happens to your second string quarterback after that.
Yeah, your two tackles, your two starting corners. Come on, dude. I mean, we talked about this on Sunday. That's three of the five most important positions in the NFL are your shutdown corners, your tackle, and your quarterback, dude. I mean, that's brutal.
I'm willing even to look past all of that because everybody is an NFL player. Like, I'm willing to look past all of that. But your first and second string quarterback both getting hurt, you need your third round rookie mid-game after the first time ever practicing as a backup at practice during the week with no teammates who play the position on the sideline with him. Impossible situation. And once the Jets switched the coverage up, you could see that's when the panic started to settle in. The feet never got set. He's hanging on the ball for too long. He's pressing. That's when I think things took the next step. So, everybody who are, willing to throw shots at Skylar Thompson and bury the kid after one game, he deserves a full week of preparation.
Marcel, it's stupid to think that he was going to play over Tua. It's stupid to think that he could start in the NFL right now, and it's even more dumb to make any determination on him after one start. That's the problem in this world. It's just there's so little common sense. And what happened to him in that game is exactly what we all talked about, those of us that actually know the game. Once he gets in there, defenses are going to completely change than what he saw in the preseason. He didn't play against ones and twos. He didn't play against anybody scheming against him and figuring him out. They didn't need to do that in the preseason. That's why he was able to take advantage. What happened to him was nothing but normal. That would happen to any seventh round pick. The problem is that one time in the sixth round, some guy named Tom Brady, all of a sudden that changes the narrative that anybody that comes off the bench, 6 or 7, they can do it. Tom Brady did it. Meanwhile, Tom Brady's the only one that's done it in 50 years. It's like, this is our problem, dude. There's not a lot of reality.
Brady's different. Brady was preparing like the starter even. I know that people say, you have to prep like a starter even when you're in the back. No. Brady was first guy in, last guy out, even as a rookie, 6th round, whatever the hell.
He was just the guy that fell through the cracks. That's all. He was a starting quarterback. But most guys that are in the 6th and 7th round, outside of that in the last 50 years, they're not going to do anything for you. That's just the way
I think and again, from an arm talent perspective, he was better than Teddy Bridgewater in training camp. Skylar Thompson was.
For sure.
But there's a reason why Teddy is still on the team. It's more than just being able to throw the ball. It is, mentally being ready to play. But I think that
understanding all those defenses. He knows you're not really going to fool Teddy. He's going to know all of that stuff, dude. He's super smart. You can't beat that.
I think you see somebody who looks like they had a week to prepare here. I think that we see somebody who's got Teddy at least on the sideline. I'm not sure if Tua will be. I'm sure he'll be at the game. I'm not sure if he'll be on the sideline or if he'll be up in a box somewhere. I'm not positive what kind of steps they're going to take on game day with him. But it does sound like Tua's got a shot at least clearing protocol this week. He's not going to be active. He's not going to play, but he's got a shot at least clearing protocol.
You know what they're doing. You know what they're doing, right?
Well, yeah. Mike is saying I got cooked for playing this kid 2 weeks ago. You got me, up. If you think I'm going to keep him active or leave any doubt as to whether or not he's playing this week, 2 weeks after the concussion, I don't.
They have to go. What Teddy's doing this week, they're doing it with him this week, so they can play him next week. Because if they didn't do this week with Tua, then next week would be the week that they would be doing. Then he would not be able to play against Pittsburgh. That's what they're doing now. They're getting him in here this whole week and all that, so they can say, oh, yeah, he passed everything. Now, next week he can go practice. And, Mike will say, well, we'll see how he progresses and all that. And he's playing next week.
But
do you have any doubts that he's playing next week against Pittsburgh? Is there any doubts?
Really. Not really. But one thing about Mike that I have to say, he really doesn't bullshit, man. Like, some coaches, like, if they don't want to give you an answer, they will, we'll see how everything's playing out. We'll see this. Oh, you're going to have to ask the doctor about that. I'm not really sure. Mike won't lie to us. If he can't say something, then he will, maybe elaborate in a different way, or like talk you in a circle, because he's smart, and that's what smart people have the ability to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he's not going to sit there and lie. Like, I don't think he's going to sit there and play a game with he just came out on Wednesday and said, yeah, nobody is playing. Like, Teddy, Tua, they're not playing. It's going to be Skyler. They'd have to do that. I mean, in the court of public opinion, yeah, it probably bought him a little bit of goodwill, but like, he didn't have to do that, whether he made a decision or not. There's no gamesmanship in this guy. So I think if Tua is going to play next week, as soon as Mike McDaniel knows, I think the rest of us will know. Like, yeah, that's how I feel about him. That's what I believe the kind of guy, that kind of coach that Mike is, and the kind of person he is with us. With
Armstead looks like he's going to play now.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
No, he's not practicing. He's not practicing. But that's kind of, and Mike even admitted yesterday that that's kind of been the new normal for them. Like, he's the kind of guy. He said he has never trusted a player in his career.
I heard
the way that he trusts Teron Armstead. He trusts him. Like, okay, if you say that you can't play, then I believe that you really can't play. If you say you can, I know that you're going to give everything you've got in here. And I also know that you don't need a full week of practice reps in order to be ready for Sunday. So I don't know. I think it might be a good idea just to start him, or just to sit him for a week with Thompson playing. Obviously, like, it sounds counterproductive, right? Because you want to keep your rookie quarterback as protected as possible. The way I see it, like, you're playing with house money with your third string quarterback playing, man. Third string quarterback, hot team coming into town like the Vikings. 3-3 is on the low end, but still within the realm of possibility of where the people thought this team would be anyways after 6 games. Like, there's a lot of season left to play. I think it might go a long way just to keep Armstead off his foot for a little while, but I do not have a medical degree. I do not.
All right, so walk me through narratives that continue to get crushed with Tua. So apparently he's not sociable. He doesn't really get along much with his teammates, doesn't hang out much, but yet, I don't know, goes out with them, goes to Tyreek's house on the podcast. Tyreek's at his house, takes him out to dinner. Yesterday, shows up on the field. I'm watching videos of people. You can see the smiles on their faces when he walks by. You see the people dabbing him. Waddle's happy. So what's all this? Hey, listen, Beasley was one of those guys that I was having my own discussion with him several weeks ago in training camp. Oh, he doesn't do this and that, and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He socializes, and our boy Omar called him a weirdo. I'm sorry, dude. From what I heard in Alabama and then now here, it's kind of the same guy. He actually does socialize with people behind the scenes. It's just that I think people,
I wouldn't go that far.
Marcel, I think that people in the media don't understand that we're not important to Tua. So he's not going to allow us in his world. And that's it. That's just the way it goes.
I will concede that part. And I would not call him a weirdo or any of that. I will not say that he's the same guy at Alabama that he is now. I get from several people. I have heard from several people just while asking around or involuntarily. They weren't messing with him in Alabama. But that's in the past. That was years ago at this point.
Not messing with him. I'm saying that he was social with his teammates. He was close to his teammates.
Not at Bama. Maybe like here's a little different. He's away from his family shadow. Like he's kind of his own person. He's rich. He's like it's a different scenario, and he's older now. But at Bama, no, no. Like I never thought it was like an important enough thing to bring up in writing or social media. But like that's the thing I've been told since I've gotten here was at Bama it was practice, game, go home with the family. There was no going out with the team.
No. He's not that. But in the locker room and on the field and all that, he was incredibly social with all his teammates. And
I think it's a thing where like, anyway, y'all have played team sports before. There are plenty of guys you get along with in the locker room that like, I'm not really trying to hang out outside of work.
Exactly. Yes.
Like I've been on beats with people where it's like, yeah, we can talk and chat in the media room, but like, I'm not going, we're not going to go, I'm not going over to your house later. Like it's not that big a deal. Like you can work. I've had plenty of coworkers like that. We have a great time at work. We're driving to work, so on and so forth. But I'm not going to see you after I clock out. So like, I think it was that kind of scenario where like, look, you can win those games. And Cal Brandt, who not necessarily somebody I go to for advice, but
he's a comedian turned sports host.
But he did have a good point about Russell Wilson a week or so ago, where when you come in and you're the highest paid guy on the team, you have to be one of two things. And this isn't exactly apples to apples, but just hear me out. You have to be one of two things. You have to be very good at your job, or you have to be very cool in the locker room, a very good dude in the locker room. Russell Wilson is neither. That is why that locker room is falling apart. Tua at Alabama, whether they rock with him or not, was winning games. He was very good at his job.
And a good dude.
It don't matter. He could have been a good dude, bad dude, cool dude, funny guy. It didn't matter. He was winning. I get that. That's what they came to Alabama to do.
Sure.
So like here, I think like, again, I think he's grown up a little bit. I think he's more comfortable in himself. I think that he's got a coach that's bringing it out of him as well. Like I get no sense again. I get no sense that like the team his teammates don't like him here, or that like they won't play for him. It's almost quantifiable when you watch him enter a game and when you watch the team play without him, that even they believe they are better with him. That's why I never understood the reports last year. Any reports where anyone thought the Dolphins were better without Tua. Look at the damn Ravens game. He enters the game.
It's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I've never seen a more galvanizing event in a football game since sporting event period, since Willis Reed ran out of the damn tunnel, than watching the Dolphins respond to Tua entering the game. All of a sudden, it felt like less like a game they might win to, wow, this is a game they should win.
Yeah, it's funny because a couple of days ago, some guy goes, well, what they should do is, he's got these injuries, move on and go find another guy next year. And then I said to him, I'll take Tua over the field. I go, have you watched since Marino? It's what, Ray Lucas? It's Fiedler? It's Fitz? It's Pennington? It's Tannehill? It's Cutler? Is that what you want? Because that's what the field's been for 20 years. It's so funny how people are like, oh, yeah, no, we could go get another quarterback. And they forget that they haven't had a quarterback since Dan Marino. And that Tua is the best quarterback they've had since Dan Marino. And then I think that conversation enlightens some people, because you kind of sit back and say, oh, shit, that's right. For 20 years, we've gone through all these names, John Beck and Pat White, and holy shit, that's right. Tua's way better than all these guys. And then the other thing I said, so if he misses 2 games here, he missed a couple games last year. Let's say he missed a couple games before that. So let's say he misses a total of 5, 6 games, 7 games in the last 3 years. Well, by the way, this guy, Joe Burrow, missed 6 games with his knee injury. So almost the same amount that Tua has missed in 3 years. So I go, do you want the guy that might miss 2 games a year for you, but balls out? Or do you want to go back to the well again, to Jay Cutler and to Chad Pennington and to John Beck and to Pat White and to Ryan Tannehill? Is that where you want to go? Because that's where you've been. You know what I mean? It's so funny that some people still don't appreciate what they have in that young man right now, which is it's way better than anything you've had since Marino.
My friend Mina Kimes told me last year when we had this exact conversation that the conversation is not Tua or Joe Burrow again. It's not Tua or Justin Herbert, because neither Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow are available, and those comparisons don't matter anymore. It is now Tua versus who is realistically available to you as the Dolphins. Tua or Jimmy Garoppolo, I'll take Tua. Tua or Matt Ryan, I've just seen Matt Ryan. Please. I'll take Tua. Tua or a rookie. Have you seen this rookie class?
Yeah. No,
I take Tua over Kenny Pickett. I would take Tua over. I don't know if it's not fair to say Malik Willis yet, but like now, I would take Tua over Malik Willis.
He's a project anyways. It's not fair.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I've seen Kenny Pickett play a full game and a half.
I like him. I like Kenny Pickett, but he's going to go through rookie pains.
Yeah, D-Talk, I am cool, bro.
Yeah.
One day you could text Mina too, or talk to her on the phone. She is really cool. It was a joke, my guy. But either way, like it's not Tua versus guys you could have had. It's Tua or guys that you possibly can have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not a conversation anymore. And to your point before, I got a couple friends that are Seahawks fans, right? And after week 1, they're dancing on the grave of Russell Wilson, saying like, see, told you this was a good decision. I told you we made the better decision, even though we only won this game because of 2 goal line fumbles and a weird 64-yard field goal, that bad clock management. Russell is not a guy. We're so much better off in the future with these picks, Marcel, these draft picks. I was like, who the hell have the Seahawks taken in the first round over the past 10 years that make you feel confident this team knows how to evaluate high-end talent? First of all,
a
great run.
Lately, they haven't drafted like they did early on.
No, they had a great run because of how they drafted, not necessarily up top, but the middle rounds. I mean, they got Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson in like the 3rd and 4th rounds. Like they built their team.
Yeah, Sherman was a 5th round
dynasty with this to become this dynasty.
Yeah,
and then but ever since they hit the top, they did nothing to keep adding to the bottom of the incline. So the ground came out under them. And now they're mortal. It's a mortal franchise. Yeah. So it's like it might look bad, but at the same time, finding a quarterback is hard. And Russell Wilson and his weird Hollywood behavior, and it's not going over well in that locker room at all. And Seattle kind of created the monster there, but that's a conversation for a different day. But I refuse to believe that Russell Wilson can't play football anymore. So they're celebrating, see how bad he is? Told you we're better off. And Gio looks good right now. I hope it lasts for his sake, for their sake. I hope it lasts. But finding a franchise quarterback is damn hard. And you can go, that wait between finding one can go from 2 seasons to 20 seasons, as the franchise that we're talking about right now, the Dolphins, have found out. I mean, what year did Dan Marino retire? What, like 2000, give or take?
99.
So 20 years. Took 20 years to get a quarterback.
Oh, it is right. They dropped him a couple years ago. So yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
So I was like, look, man, like you can be happy. I don't want to see none of this celebrating, dancing on the grave. We were right, banging on your chest. You weren't right about shit. We will see if they can move on past it. But yeah, that's immediately what I think when you name all these: Chad Henne, Pat White, Cleo Lemon. Who else? Who am I missing? Tannehill.
It's a lot of names. It's a lot of names. Lot of names.
Is hard. It is a hard business. It's one of the hardest things to do in this league because so much is predicated on finding that quarterback. Jobs are won and lost, or are extended and lost. So Yeah, well, I think they got something that they got something into it. They got something into it. If you want to, look at the other side of the grass and swear that it's greener, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not a fortune teller, but I think that bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? That's how the whole saying goes.
Mm-hmm. Are you picking them this week?
I don't know. I think we see an improved Skylar Thompson. The Vikings are good, man. The Vikings are good. I didn't think they were. Preseason, I had this an easy win for Miami. Easy win. I like Kirk Cousins.
If they're healthy, Tua and X and Armstead, they win this game.
Yeah, like fully healthy, I would still have had this. This is a Dolphins win.
Fully healthy, they're 6-0 after this.
I'm just
week.
not. I am not sure. I am not sure about Sunday. I'm not sure about Sunday as currently constructed.
That's fair.
I think it'll be competitive. I don't think they're getting blown out. Just like, last week wasn't a blowout either. Somehow, man, every time I tweet, it becomes a nesting ground for the AFC East. It's never just Dolphins fans. It's Bills fans. I get Patriots fans. I get Jets fans.
It's your Bills underwears. That's everybody knows you're wearing Bills underwears. So it kind of spurs it up. That's the problem.
Some Jets fan yesterday asked me what the point of the whole of bringing up the ping pong table story was. So what the hell is the point of you being here? Who are you? Don't tell me how to cover this team. You don't even like this team.
The ping pong story or the ping pong table doesn't mean anything.
I think it was stupid. I had to write about it at 11 o'clock last night. Like I don't.
That's not stopping them from winning. What's stopping them from winning is that Tua's not healthy, X is not healthy, Teron Armstead's not healthy. That's what's stopping them from winning.
You want an investigative report on the ping pong? Like, hey, about Melvin Ingram wrote himself in as the winner of their ping pong tournament bracket.
Like, by the way, I heard
we feel better about knowing this. It's ridiculous.
I heard that the one Tyreek Hill is buying now to bring to the locker room, it will have a seat in the middle for a referee. And I heard that you're the guy that's going to be the guy refereeing the ping pong tournaments.
If they pay me better than ESPN does, then who knows, man? I might go full time.
I don't know, but that's what I was told. They needed somebody neutral. They didn't want another player in the locker room being the referee. So this is supposedly like a really elaborate ping pong table that you're going to be officiating. It's amazing. Nice job by you.
I will say, though, speak just cool ping pong stuff. I know that Tyreek did buy everybody a custom paddle. But I think that is kind of cool. Or give everybody. I don't know if he actually bought it. Or if a company said, hey, we'll give you these if you can hand them out. Right. But
whatever.
The team, everybody on that team has their own paddle courtesy of Tyreek Hill. It would track that he is bringing in a custom table as well.
With a chair, with a referee chair.
But like they're far from the only look, the Bills used to have they played FIFA and shit in the locker room, right?
There he is, the Bills again.
Until the reporter told on them and said, you would never see the Patriots doing this. And then they yanked that system right out. So, that's why nobody talks about the damn ping pong table, because nobody wants to ruin the fun in the locker room. I don't want to ruin this for them. I don't want to make it into a bigger deal than it has to be. And now I feel like they can't be themselves in their locker room. It's not what's the point? So,
free the pong.
They play a lot.
Yeah, nothing wrong with ponging a little bit, bro.
Ping pong, man. I would play a lot too if I had one.
Damn, if someone got hit in the head by a ping pong ball, do they go on concussion protocol? That's a good question. What happens there, huh? Tell me. What happens if you get hit by a ping pong ball? Does ataxia set in?
Is there a spotter in the locker room is the point.
Yeah, by the way, that spotter's a son of a bitch. He cost the Dolphins. He knocked Teddy out for the Jets game and this game. That's terrible, dude. That's irresponsible of the league to have a spotter that's going to cost you a player for 2 weeks, and it wasn't accurate.
Kind of still waiting for an explanation from the league for that. Our NFLP or our PFWA head, I I will not name him. You can ask Alan about it later. Maybe Alan will do it, but I won't. Has asked the NFL repeatedly for a statement or any sort of further information. We have not gotten it yet. It has been 4 days.
They're trying, crafting a lie. It's not easy, bro. You've got to get crafty in crafting a lie. So you got to give them a little time there, Marcel. Don't be pushy of the NFL. They got to craft their lie for you. Okay.
It's just crazy. Like, how long could it possibly take? Hey, what is your statement? Our spotter thought that he saw this man stumble. We're in a position right now where we want to err on the side of caution. If this was a mistake, and if thankfully he passed concussion protocol, our spotter was misguided. Mistakes like this are going to happen as we try to over prioritize player safety moving forward.
Yeah. No, I got you. But it's just
give me 110. No, it's the NFL. Give me 130 a year, and I'll go do that for y'all every week, so that you don't have to lead people on. It's not that hard.
What they're doing is they craft a lie, and you know how they do with TV shows, right? They create the pilot, and then they show the pilot to a test audience, right? And then the audience tells you, and then that's how they get a feel for, yeah, this sitcom's going to work or not going to work. So that's what the NFL is doing. They're crafting a lie, and then they bring in an audience, and they tell them the lie, and then they get the reaction. And if it's a little mixed and they don't like, we got to go back to the drawing board and craft a new lie. And so I think that's what's been going on, Marcel. The test audiences have been shooting down one lie after another, and it just hasn't sounded convincing enough. So once it gets back to one of those test audiences that says, that's some good bullshit, then you'll get your statement. That's it.
What is kind of funny though? And, sorry if I'm talking about y'all in the comments, if this was you. It's just something that I've noticed. I might not respond to everything. I respond to a lot, not everything, but I see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The same people who saw the NFL's report come out on Saturday and said, you see, the NFL cleared the Dolphins of any wrongdoing. The NFL's telling the truth. Why not? What do you mean there may or may not be discipline? The NFL just said this.
Yep.
The next day, 12 hours later, maybe 16 hours later, the NFL doesn't want the Dolphins to win. The NFL is rigged. The NFL is a lot. Y'all want to believe everything that they say, then go ahead. Like, y'all don't want to look at things with a healthy bit of skepticism, then go ahead.
Right.
Then go ahead. The flip-flopping of either the league tells the truth 100% of the time, or they don't. Like, you can't be on either side. You got to pick one. You got to pick an angle here.
It doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like that in this world.
I tell you, when you see two organizations,
you've got a group of people in this world that they want gun control, but then the same group of people are allowing you to steal $100 or less, and or they let you go on and create an autonomous zone where you knock out an entire police department. Same people, the same people that tell you don't tell me to wear a mask, will then tell you need to have you can't have an abortion. How about that? You can't tell me to wear a mask, but I can tell you can't have an abortion.
I would say
that's how it goes in this world, bro. The same people have two sides to every story. That's the way it goes.
I will say this here. When you see two organizations like that, like the NFL and NFLPA per se, and they come out with a joint statement after reports all week of saying that they're far apart. Both sides have decided to compromise on something and come together for the greater good, or what they see as the greater good moving forward. That does not mean that both sides believe wholeheartedly everything that is in that statement. That means this is what we are willing to put our name on publicly. This is what we're willing to concede on. The NFL doesn't believe everything that was put out. The NFLPA doesn't believe everything that was put out. That's why before everything dropped, I'm having sources tell me that why the NFLPA fired the doctor, and that's why Alan Sills is coming out after the statement. That's why the NFL is coming out after the statement saying we would not have fired that doctor. We would not have done that. We thought it was a travesty that it happened. They don't agree on none of that. Like, that statement is just a combination of concessions. It's basic. It does not 100% clear anybody of anything. It is a combination of concessions. That is it.
That's it. They're placating to the optics is all they're doing here, and that's what the NFLPA and the NFL is doing. And overall, their protocols weren't good enough, and they got exposed. So now they've got to do this whole dog and pony show.
And it's a legal issue. That's the NFL can't come out and say. That's why it's specifically crafted language. The outcome was not what the protocol is intended. Right. That does not say the protocol failed Tua, because they don't want 20 years from now, if Tua has something wrong with his head, to come back and say, well, you see how, remember when y'all admitted that your protocol was wrong? Mm-hmm. I want some money for my medical bills and my family. Now, I'm taking you to court for that. Right. They can't do that. That's why, like, everything is so specific. It's, especially when you're talking about the money that they work with. Everything is worded so specifically for a reason. So, I don't know, man. Look, there's a lot about this.
By the way, somebody said you need to be put on protocol because they just saw you stumble.
Like, man, I don't know if I'm stumbling over my words.
I don't know. Ataxia might be setting in there, bro. I don't know.
Look, it's a topic I like. It's a topic that I know a lot about, and it's a topic that I know a lot about, but can't publicly.
Let's not get into your drinking right now, okay?
Let's say a lot about
right now, okay? Let's not talk about your alcoholic issues and your ataxia on Fridays and Saturday nights. Now, let's not get into that.
I hope that one day I am going to be allowed to say it, and Big O going to interrupt me one day, and I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to start a Twitter Spaces for everybody else to get this information, and you're going to see. But no, like, I hope one day I do have the green light to say why this person was fired and why exactly the NFLPA felt like the guy made mistakes and wanted to fire him. I know exactly what it kills me. I didn't get into this to keep secrets, but I don't want to burn people. And until those people who told me say, look, man, green light, go ahead, then I am sworn to secrecy. And I'm sworn to say, look, from their perspective, he allowed Tua to go back in the game, and they didn't re-examine his back, and they felt like those were mistakes.
Well, you just got to have the juice that we have to go independent. That's all. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, look, man,
you're not tied to any corporateness out there. That's what we love here, that we're not tied to any corporateness out there. That's what I love.
I get it. I respect that. But look, man, I very much like.
It's not easy. It's not easy, my brother.
It's not easy. I like to check. I like to check that every week. Respectfully. Yes. I'm allowed to do a lot of things that it was that I literally dreamed of. Like, I literally dreamed of practicing the mirror, doing this, that, and the third. So I have no complaints having a boss, especially when that boss gives me Disney World tickets. So, like,
there you go. That's okay. I'd work just for Disney World tickets all the time. That would be a perfect way to pay me. I would love that. All right, what are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, I got a story out. Story out from Tuesday. I went out to Fort Myers to hand out hurricane supply. Watch the Dolphins hand out hurricane supplies and food and water to that community. Zaquandre White's alma mater, North Fort Myers High School, handed out 3,000 meals, man. I was there for a few hours, and it was a steady line of cars. There was no breaks, man, as far as you could see. Those people, and they were so happy to see these guys, so for a little more information on that story's up on ESPN. Got another one coming out on Skylar Thompson's outlook, why Sunday should be a different outcome, not a different outcome, but it should look and feel different than last week's game against the Jets. Then working on a feature for the Sunday night game, for the primetime games, we got to have something special. So, hopefully be able to get that out by next weekend. And beyond that, man, I might just rest. I'm trying to flush this thing out. About to pour another cup of emergency, down that, drink another glass of water, take a little, find some vitamin C. I think I got some D3 in there. I've got some elderberry in there, just everything flushing through. So
Right.
That's what I'm working on, bro. I've been working. I don't think any team in the Dolphins, or besides the Dolphins, has been in the news more often for non-on-field related things than Miami.
What can I tell you? My media brethren come up with a lot of bullshit and a lot of, fake narratives. And so you got Pro Football Talk talking that Tua's not even 190 pounds. I mean, it just, come on, dude. It just,
I've never seen Florio anywhere, bro. Like I've been anti-Florio since the Eric Reed shit in Carolina, man. I don't listen to PFT.
Like, you're not claiming he's not even 190 pounds. Like, dude, have you ever stood next to the guy? It's like,
that's
come on,
crazy,
man. It just gets. I've never seen this, dude. I've never seen.
Smallish, I guess, up top. Like he's small, but he is thickly built. Like his legs are tree trunks. I don't know what he squats, but like the guy is thickly built, like from lower half of his body.
Again,
like I don't just
never seen this, bro.
Go places, man. PFT has so many millions of followers that don't translate to money. But let me stop.
I just never seen this treatment, bro. and it fires me up even more to defend the guy because of all the bullshit that goes on around him. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. And don't forget, you can order myedgedrink.com, the finest energy drink on the planet. 78 calories. That's it. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. You will get 10% off. You can only order it online and get it directly delivered to your home or office. myedgedrink.com. Save 10%. Use our code Big O. Thank you, Marcel. We'll talk post-game on Sunday, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yes, we will. All right, y'all.
Thank you. There you go. Marcel Louis-Jacques and our Edge energy drink, Miami Dolphins report. All right. Big O, did you see Kirk Cousins looked concussed last game? His fingers curled. I did not see it. Don't know anything about it. But what can I tell you, dude? All right, give me 2 minutes. Hour number 3 is coming up. We're coming to you live from Hialeah Park. Alan Poupart is set to join us here at the top of the hour. I got some stuff I want to share with you guys, too. Got one controversial thing going on in the NFL that I want to talk about. The Panthers are in action tonight. They open up the season. Matthew Tkachuk and the boys. So, is it Barkov and the boys or Matthew Tkachuk and the boys? Barkov, Tkachuk, and the boys. Okay. All right. There you go. But anyway, got a bunch of things to talk about. Give us 2 minutes, and we'll start hour number 3 live from Hialeah Park, baby, right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All right, we are ready. Hour number 3 on the program. Coming to you live, baby, from Hialeah Park. And there he is, ready to go for our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
No, I can't complain. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You look at the injuries. What can you tell us? Any good news? What's your gut tell you about some of these injuries?
No, I actually think it's going to be pretty good this weekend. Raheem Mostert was back at practice today, which was very, very encouraging because you see him pop up on the injury report with DNP knee, considering his history. That's always worrisome, regardless of what it is. So he was back at practice today. That's very, very encouraging.
Well, and he had 18 carries. When I had Cam on in the post game, he was like, "Well, maybe they should have run more." I said, "Man, that guy had 18 carries on a knee. That he's coming back. I think 18 carries is more than enough for him. It's just nobody else could really get it going on that day."
No, correct. And then I think also like the Jets at some point adjusted a little bit too. So no, I had no problem with his workload. I think 18 carries is actually a very good number for him.
Yeah.
My gut feeling, based on what Mike McDaniel said about Teron Armstead coming back from New York after seeing a specialist, there was no indication that there's anything major going on with that. He was talking about how it's going to be another one of those deals where he's going to work through the week behind the scenes, not at practice, and then try to play on Sunday. So that's more encouraging than it was right after the game on Sunday, when the news is he's going to go see the specialist, see what they can do. It certainly sounds like they're in a holding pattern and going to keep doing the same deal. X certainly looks like he's going to be out there. He's practiced the last 2 days. So, and based on what I've seen, what my eyeballs tell me, I kind of get the feeling Austin Jackson's going to be back as well. So
really,
I think injury-wise, it's actually looking about as good as it can look, considering where we were on Sunday.
Wow, so no Byron is the only one. You think everybody else is pretty much playing, right?
Yeah, certainly looks that way. Durham Smythe, I think, might be problematic.
Okay. All right.
But in the grand scheme of things, that if they have X and they have Teron Armstead, no offense to Durham Smythe, but I think I'll take that trade-off.
No, definitely. And he's solid. I like Durham Smythe.
All right. No, I like him too.
It's always good to have him as an option there, and especially for a young quarterback, because as you know, running backs and tight ends, those are higher percentage passes for those guys than getting it to the outside overall. All right, the challenge this week with Skylar Thompson. I think it's better, at least for the coach, to be able to prepare him for the week. At least, because we all talk about how Skylar will be better off having a week of preparation, which is obvious, and we all know that. But also on the flip side, it's also better for the coach, too, that he gets the game plan with the young man all throughout the week, so he kind of gets a feel for what he's comfortable with and what he's not as comfortable with.
Yeah, no question. And even as I mentioned earlier, and Darrell Bevel again said it today, you cannot underestimate the significance of Thompson getting all the first-team reps this week in preparation for his start, as opposed to jumping in after one offensive play against the Jets. And even with that, like I wrote earlier this week, I thought he was perfectly fine against the Jets. 19 for 33 is not impressive, but there were 4 drops, and the one pick was when he had his arm hit. So
right.
I thought he was very, very, very solid, a lot better than a lot of other Dolphin quarterbacks making their first start. And I wrote about that actually earlier today. And so he's actually did a good job.
I'm with you there. All right. The Tua stuff. Does it look to you, because this is what it looks like to me, we now found out that the spotter, when he does this, he screws your player for 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going on. So the Dolphins also figured that out and said, well, we better get Tua doing what Teddy's doing this week, so we have him available for next week. Because if we don't, then next week will be the week that we initially start the process with him, and he's not allowed to play that week, basically, because he doesn't really get to prepare nearly as much. Like Teddy is not getting to prepare nearly as much. So all of a sudden now, you kind of get the feel that they're doing this to get him ready for Pittsburgh next week. Agree or disagree on that?
Apples and oranges. I think it's 2 separate situations. Teddy got screwed by the new rule. And it's application. And then to me, it still boggles the mind that unless there's something there that I don't know, the fact that there could be one spotter who decides, he looks wobbly to me, you're out. And then you can't practice.
That sucks.
Even on a limited basis until the next Thursday. Yeah, that's not kosher. And when with Tua, to me, Tua, again, it's a separate situation because he's at the stage now where when he clears certain milestones,
benchmarks.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. He can increase his workload, and
well, that's why if you started next week, it may not be.
But they wouldn't have been able to start him now. They wouldn't have been able to start him now if he hadn't clinched a benchmark of you're okay to start throwing lightly, or say this to start practicing on a limited basis and all that.
You don't think he could have cleared last week? Come on, man.
No, I don't actually.
I think he could have played last week.
Okay, and
I think he could have played last week. They just, of course, they're going through the whole thing. The guy got concussed in the Buffalo game and played in the second half brilliantly.
Correct.
So,
but then now you're talking about it. If we're going with that assumption, then now you're talking about a second concussion, and the second one being a lot worse than the first one.
Yeah.
No, I mean that was a bad one.
But I'm also what I'm trying to tell you is I think he's one of those guys that gets through this kind of stuff quickly. Unfortunately, Ethan Carter is not. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's like I've said before. Look at Dave Navarro. Dave Navarro for a year and a half has had long COVID. He can't taste or smell. Now, many other people got COVID and it went through him like a cold. Look at Dave Navarro. Unfortunately, Jane's Addiction is benched, can't do anything because he's sidelined for a year and a half already. How crazy is that? But I think that's how it is. To me, he looks like the kind of dude that gets through these kind of things quickly. Fortunately for him, at least, what it seems like.
Okay.
I know we have no proof or anything like
correct.
medical proof and all that, but I go off of Buffalo where, he looked at me just fine and he got concussed on that one.
Okay, but there's different levels of concussions, and the Buffalo thing was probably a very mild concussion.
Yeah.
And then the Bengals hit was not a mild concussion. So no. I don't know. Again, I don't think that Tua could have played against the Jets, even without optics, even without extra precaution and all that. It looks encouraging for Pittsburgh, but again, it's concussions, and to me, the idea to suggest that he's definitely playing against Pittsburgh is silly. It does look promising. Let's put it that way.
You didn't think the ping pong tables were something that was really going to stop them from winning, right? That's not. And by the way, I heard that the new table that Tyreek is buying, it's going to have a chair in the middle for a referee. And I heard Marcel has been voted in to be the referee. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's a really elaborate table. It's so elaborate it needs a referee. And Marcel is going to be the referee sitting in the little chair in between the ping pong. I don't know if you know about this. But
no, I'd have figured it'd have an automatic, like a referee, like an electronic referee. I mean, really, really high tech.
Well, no. They wanted somebody objective out of the locker room, so they voted Marcel. Okay. And I think it was something about him wearing Bill's underwear, so he won't be choosing sides or something like that. I don't know what it is. Something like that is that's the rumor floating around there. I think that's what I heard.
You'd have to ask Marcel.
Well, we did. We asked him. He didn't deny it, but he didn't want to confirm it. Okay, so you know how it is. You know how it goes.
I know how that works. Sources say.
Sources say, and we caught him, we busted him, and he just, he had a little hard time admitting that he's going to be refereeing the ping pong matches. Yeah. So, do you take part in any of these? Are you any good at ping pong? Were you ever any good at ping pong?
I can hold my own.
You can? Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. I suck at it. Dude. I never got good at that. Never, dude. God bless. That thing was every time I'd hit it, it'd just end up in the other part of the room or something like that. It was just, I just couldn't hit it to the other box on the other side. I just didn't have that touch. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was rough. All right. What are you predicting this week between the Dolphins and the Vikings? What do you think?
I think they're going to win. And the Vikings are a really, really wacky team. I mean, because I heard actually somebody call the Raiders today like one of the best 1-4 teams I've ever seen. And to me, I look at the Vikings and they're one of the worst 4-1 teams I've ever seen. They always seem like they should be better than they are. There's an awful lot of talent on both sides of the ball on that team. I mean, big time.
Spielman did a good job there, dude. It's just he couldn't figure out the quarterback. And that's, a lot of people have trouble figuring out the quarterback. But overall, he did a pretty good job throughout his tenure there drafting.
Oh, no, I agree. But Cousins is one of those weird guys. I mean, he's weird. It's like he can be really, really, really good, and then he shrinks at the bad moments. And I kind of get the feeling this is the game where maybe the pass rush actually gets to him because he's not a threat to scramble.
Where the hell is that pass rush? Are those guys, do they plan on showing up anytime this year?
1 sack each for Jalen Phillips and Emmanuel Ogbah, as I wrote earlier today. That's not going to get it done. But I kind of get the feeling that the defense is due for a good game, that it's going to happen, and I think the offense is going to be solid. It's not going to be explosive, but I think it's going to be solid. And I think that's a game the Dolphins actually can win.
I hope so, man, because wow, and one of the keys that defense that those defensive ends, they've got to get freed up, dude. They've got to find a way to hit that quarterback and sack him. It's just and look, I get it with Jalen Phillips because he's young. So this is the kind of crap that happens with young defensive ends. Mm-hmm. Some people are losing their minds with Jalen. I'm not, because he's young, so that's fine. And you made a good point. And you made a good point earlier in the week that his sacks actually came in bunches, and against some of the lesser teams actually at times where he was able to take advantage. So this is part of his growing pains. But Emmanuel Ogbah, there are no excuses, my man. You're a veteran. You played your ass off for your contract. You got your contract. Let's go, bro. Let's go. It's time to produce. And he's not getting it done. And by him producing, he will then open it up for Jalen Phillips. But if he's not producing, it's going to make Jalen's job just a little bit harder.
No question. And I looked at Ogbah's season so far. I mean, he was great against Buffalo, but and he had good numbers against New England the other 3 games, and it's the numbers. I mean, there's not, forget sacks. He's only got 1 sack on the season, but even quarterback hits where you're affecting the QB, because it's not just when we talk about the pass rush not being there, it's not just about sacks. That's great and all that, but it's hurrying some throws, causing incompletions because you get in the QB's face, and that's just not been there. And it was there the last 2 years, and that's made a big difference.
I'm with you there, man. I hope the D line wakes up in this game. It would be nice because Cousins is the kind of guy that you just talked about. You can rattle him. And that's your job there this week, is to rattle him, and you're home. So hopefully the sun and the defense, get to them a little bit more. All right. What else? I think we got pretty much everything overall. From here on out, are you worried that this rule will cause problems for this league? Because it seems to me like some teams are going to end up losing games because of this. Maybe a team ends up losing a playoff position because of this. Maybe some players don't break records because of this. Maybe they don't reach incentives because of some of these calls by the spotter. Yeah. How concerned are you that this rule will put put an effect into what football is all about now?
Yeah, and there's 2 big issues now with quarterbacks in the league in general that popped up this weekend. Number one is the roughing the passer penalties. I think those will dissipate as the weeks move on. I think the Grady Jarrett call against Tom Brady, that call is not being made 3 or 4 weeks down the road. I think that was a gross overreaction to the Tua situation.
Chris Jones?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. And in fact, the officiating, I saw somewhere today where an officiating official said that even after review, he still would have called it because technically he landed on top of him. And because of that silly rule that really offers no gray area, he fell on top of him with his weight, which he did. And unfortunately, I think that rule's in there and that's still going to get called. But the one like the Grady Jarrett against Tom Brady, you're not getting that call 3 weeks down the road because that situation will have again faded a little bit. The thing with the spotter being able to rule out somebody from a game, unfortunately, now that's in the rule book or in the protocols, whatever. It's in writing. That's not going away, and I think that's going to cause problems at some point for a team. And it'd be nice if it was a team other than the Dolphins. To which it happened.
By the way, somebody wants to ask, but I might as well ask because he is from here. Should the Dolphins, Cap for Life is asking, Alan Orlando, I'm driving with one knee while texting and asking, do you guys think we should try to trade with Carolina for Brian Burns? Is he available? the American Heritage star.
Brian Burns.
Huh?
Why would Carolina trade Brian Burns? I understand they're going to be in full rebuild mode, but you have a few good, really, really good young assets. Brian Burns being one of them, Derek Brown being another one, J.C. Horn being another one. Why would you, if you're Carolina, get rid of all your young building pieces?
I don't. That the fans just sometimes think that that everybody's available and anything and all that. There are no reports that Brian Burns is going to be traded, none whatsoever.
Correct. No, if Carolina trades somebody,
I think it was Washington, right? Some guy came out of Washington, said I want out or something. That's about it, right? That's about the only one.
Jackson, the cornerback.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yes.
That's it. No, I mean, I can see Carolina giving up Christian McCaffrey because he's got
injury prone
contract and he's always hurt.
Yeah.
And I saw some people like suggesting, why don't the Dolphins call Carolina for Taylor Moton or Moton, however he pronounces his last name, the right tackle, who's very good, who also got a massive contract last year. And if you look at the salary cap implications for Carolina to trade him, they take this ridiculous cap hit. So they'd be crazy to do that. So you got to look at those things when you talk about, okay, who could they acquire? And
they don't look at that.
No, it's all great. It's all about, okay, who could the Dolphins get from them? Well,
right. It's just they pull a question out of their ass, and they have no idea if it makes any sense whatsoever. So Cap for Life just pulls it out of his ass. Hey, why don't we trade for Brian Burns? Okay, he's on his rookie deal. He's a hell of a player. That would help them actually lure their next coach. Why would they want to do that now?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the enthusiasm. I'll say that. I'm not going to rip on the guy. That's cool.
That's my job.
That's my job. No, but you got to look at both sides. I mean, it's like,
come on, man. Let's talk about somebody that actually is on the trading block. Somebody that's legitimately wants out, or they're trading them or something like that. But let's just call somebody for their better players, and that's it. And the best part is Cap for Life will probably follow up. I know we can get him for a 5th rounder in 2038.
It might cost a 4th, actually. Come on.
Maybe. You're right. Yeah. It might be a tough negotiation there. All right. What are you working on alldolphins.com, the site that every Dolphin fan on the planet must bookmark?
Well, I kind of threw a hint out there that I did something like deep diving into the defensive issues that have crept up. The same defense that we saw last year. And as I mentioned, it's not just, yes, Byron Jones not being there is a factor. It's not just Byron Jones. There are other issues at play. One that I didn't mention because it's not really the defense itself, but the special teams have been shit. Let's be honest, they've been shit.
Yeah,
pretty much the whole year, and that hasn't helped. And if you don't think that's a big deal,
by the way, I think they renamed them to shit teams, not special. I think they did that actually.
Yeah.
I think look at the media guide right now, it'll say shit teams, not special teams.
No, yeah. Dude, look at the game Sunday. And the Dolphins' first 2 possessions, the first one they started on the 8, that led to the safety. The second time they had the ball, Skylar Thompson comes in. We talked about difficult circumstances. He's got the ball at his 3-yard line. Go ahead, Rooks. Make your NFL debut starting at the 3-yard line. So that's been another factor. And also I look a little revisiting Dolphin draft picks who were quarterbacks in their first start with Miami.
Okay. There you go. I'm sure that's an interesting one there. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And again, if you're a Dolphins fan, it's a must. You really don't become an official Dolphins fan until you bookmark alldolphins.com. It's the law. Okay? As Nino Brown would say, it's the law. Alan, have fun. We will catch up on Monday after the game. Let's hope we're talking about a win. A hell of a lot more fun. Talking about a win.
Yep, no question. Have a great weekend, bud.
Thank you, sir. And of course, EJD Construction. They are a proud sponsor of our program. Not a handyman. We're talking about full custom home construction. And listen, a couple of our listeners have called EJD Construction because they're having issues with their roof. It's not that there's anything wrong with the roof. It's old. And unfortunately, the insurance companies are not renewing a lot of homes in South Florida that the roof is too old and you need to upgrade it. Well, EJD Construction can upgrade it for you. custom home construction, major home remodeling. You want to build a second floor, a third floor. You want to build an observation deck, which, by the way, as somebody else also built that, an observation deck on top of their roof, which is really, really cool idea. I'd like to get a balcony out of my bedroom in the second floor. That's what I'd like to do. But you can do that with EJD Construction. 305-433-4843, fully insured. Liability and workers' comp, so you never have to worry. Anybody gets injured on your property, you are not going to get sued. Do not ever hire somebody to work on your property that is not fully insured. That is very dangerous because you will be held responsible if they get injured. Hire people that are properly licensed and insured. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. That's the EJDconstruction.com. Miami Dolphins report. All right. Let's see. What do we have? You got some news for me there? It's a video? Okay. Of what? What is it? What do we have? Okay. All right. Apparently, this is the Russell Westbrook video that he doesn't, he's not with the team and they're all huddling over and he's on the side. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Russell, the Westbrook stuff with Patrick Beverly and huddling and this is going to be a disaster. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. It's a train wreck. What's going on with the Lakers? I'm loving every bit of it. Any misery that LeBron James can go through, I will enjoy it, okay? Nothing personal. I don't want him ever to go any family stuff or anything like that. But on the basketball court, the worse they could get with the Lakers, the better for me. Sorry, Laker fans, but, I root against LeBron James. So ever since he screwed Riley, he's done in my book. And so I hope this season is hell for LeBron James in a Lakers uniform. Okay? I hope Russell Westbrook creates all kinds of havoc. And eventually they're going to have to bench him. They're going to have to send him away because that's not going to work long term. Okay? And Darvin Ham will not last the season if he has to deal with that. You have put your coach at a disadvantage already having to deal with that. Okay? Looks like we are getting healthy again. Let's up Mike McD. Mike McD can game plan a win. Then we can get rolling again with Tua on the Sunday Nighter. Amen to that. Amen to that. Hey, Panthers tonight, 7:30, UBS Arena, taking on the Islanders. I know nobody cares about hockey right now. It's all that good stuff. I know you do. I know you're going to watch it, and I'm going to watch it. I can't wait to watch it, man. Panthers are favored by 1.5 goals, plus 190. The Islanders are plus 1.5 goals, minus 225. Damn. So, depends on what you like. Florida's minus 135 on the money line, and the Islanders are plus 115 on the money line. I almost feel like, the Islanders are a pretty good team. I almost feel like the plus 1.5 goals is the value here. Because, man, I have a hard time seeing Florida blowing them out.
Yeah, and it's so tough too because the first game of the season, because the preseasons they didn't always their lines were very shaken up with a new coach getting you're trying different things. Yeah, so I don't know who they're going to have, what lines they're going to have. They
or how they're going to work.
Yeah, they could come out and blow them out, or they could come out
and get blown out.
Yeah,
or it could be a 2-2 tie.
Yeah,
never
know.
Yeah,
never know.
It's crazy, dude.
Especially with the way the Panthers have played too, because they'll play up and then they'll play way down.
That one's tough. I wouldn't touch that line at all. Now, in our A. Lenny lockdown segment, I do have a pick for tonight. All right. I need to bounce back after losing last night. Let's get to it. Let's get to our A. Lenny Locksmith.com lockdown segment.
Time to lock. Lockdown. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
Yesterday, and I apologize. I took the Braves, 2 days ago. Braves minus 1.5 runs, and the Phillies ended up winning 7-6. So it drops us to 40, 32, and 3. We're 8 games above 500. We've been like this up and down since we've been around that 10 over 500, 8, 9. Maybe we get to 11 one time, but then we go back down to 10, 8, 9. We've been like that. I got to get a roll going. So tonight, we've got the Commanders and the Bears, an absolutely atrocious game. Now, very inconsistent quarterbacks. Neither guy I trust, but I'm going to go with the Commanders' defense here. Commanders are only favored by 1 point. The over and under is 38. Commanders are minus 115 on the money line here. Okay, and Bears are minus 105 on the money line. So this is a really close game right here. And I'm going to go Commanders. It's not so much that I'm counting on Carson Wentz. It's hard to count on Carson Wentz, but then again, I can't count on Justin Fields either. Okay? Neither quarterback convinces me or gives me any kind of confidence, but I'm going to lean to the Commanders' defense because I really like their defense. I think they have enough talent that they can create problems. The question is, will Carson Wentz unfold on you, right? But it's only 1 point. I think Washington finds a way to win this game this week. Even with Ron Rivera going off, I think maybe everybody around him goes, hey, Ron, yeah, you screwed up, but we understand. We know what you're talking about. We want to win, but we know we've got Carson Wentz. So I'm going to go Commanders minus 1. I think they eke out a victory here on Thursday night against the Chicago Bears. Washington minus 1 in our ALennyLocksmith.com lockdown segment.
The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com where we lock it down.
All right. I got to share some videos with you guys out there because I found it funny. Don't forget, by the way, to smash the hell out of the like button. Very important. Hit the subscribe button also if you're watching. Appreciate it. Thank you all out there, as always, for being so supportive of our program. And you remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show is the address. Cash Big O Show. You can also send a Bitcoin there on Cash App. So we've had a lot of fights, a lot of sports fights. And one of the common denominators, did you notice? Los Angeles. I don't know what it is about the West Coast and especially Los Angeles, but there always seems to be violence at these games. And it's getting to a point where even going to a game is just, a pain in the ass. So play this one for us, Sean Stanley, as we've got a Rams and Cowboys fight going on. Or is this the two Rams guys? No, this is the whole parking lot. Yeah. But there is a Rams guy that gets knocked down. Yes, I think this is Cowboys and Rams, if I'm correct. And this was at the Rams Stadium. Okay.
Hey, chill.
Yeah, there's no music. Can't get tagged.
Chill. Come on. Chill.
Orale.
Hey, chill. Oh, shit. Hey, homie. Gloria, back up.
Boom. Watch him pound this guy. Boom. Boom, boom. Now watch him get up. Do you think he has a little ataxia? Huh? Do you think there's a little ataxia involved there? Huh? Just bad. All right, so you got the Cowboys and the Rams. All right. Do we have the Dodgers fans fighting with the girl? Or yeah, that's the one we have, right? The two girls. So here's another one. And again, this is Rams involved, if I'm correct. Los Angeles is right. Well, I'm sorry, Los Angeles. Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles again involved. For those of you that live in Southern California, and by the way, some of you Northern California people also are involved because, San Francisco does not get away with it. They do some of this. What is wrong with you people? Just out of curiosity, what the hell is going on there? I went to a game in the Coliseum a couple years back, the Rams in Seattle. Did not see one fight. I'm not saying it's been going on for years, but wow. So let's play the ladies having it out now. Watch this. It's like it's a violent place for sports there in Los Angeles.
She's only 16, bitch. You fucked up by a 17-year-old, bitch. Get in the fucking
Tell you, it's a great family environment going to sporting events in Los Angeles. Yeah, yep, Los Angeles. What's the billboard? I'm telling you, bro. Thank you, Big O, for doing what you've done for us and Sean. Thank you. Thank you guys. Not me. Thank you guys. We thank all of you. Sean and I get to do what we love every single day. And, thanks to all of you, you allow us to be able to do this. And so it's a whole synergy thing. Without you guys, we can't exist. We can't get it done. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's visiting our sponsors, myedgedrink.com or Sloman Shield, 1-800-ALARM-ME, or hitting the notification bell or hitting the like button. Very important that you hit the like button, subscribing, all of these things, making a donation. So thank you. Thank you. It doesn't go past either one of us every single day that we are blessed to be able to do this, And so thank you. Classy broad. Yeah. There were a lot of classy broads there, Jeff. So a lot of classy broads that are going to these Los Angeles games. Man. Yeah, those ladies look like they can fight against carbohydrates.
You read that one wrong.
What? What?
It looked like those ladies lost the fight.
Oh, lost the fight against carbohydrates, right? Yeah. Yes, they did lose the fight against, just like me. I lost it years ago. Big O, every time I see people doing that stuff, I feel bad. But when they are Hispanic, I actually feel embarrassed. A few rotten apples. Well, what are you going to do? Dude, it's people, bro. It's not Hispanics. It's not Anglos. It's not whites. It's not blacks. It's not Asians. It's not whatever, bro. They're bad apples in everything, man. It's not a racial thing. You shouldn't even look at it that way. Idiots are idiots, bro. And the Karens and the Kens usually aren't, you know what I mean? Jerks are jerks. They come in all shapes and sizes and colors and nationalities and all that kind of stuff. So you shouldn't look at it that way. You know? It's just depends on where you're at and what part of the country. That'll determine who that kind of person is. But it's the same jerk in Alabama that is in Los Angeles, that is in Florida, that is in New York, or that is in Minnesota. They may look different, but they're all the same jerk. You know what I mean? So don't ever take it personal or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody should ever take it personal if somebody did something wrong that happens to be of your same nationality or religion or sexuality or whatever. That stuff is, you got no control over that. What are you going to do? So they want to change the name of the Chiefs. Did you hear about that? So that's a new one now. You know, the Indians are gone. They are now the Guardians. The Redskins are gone. They are now the Commanders, and you'll see them tonight playing in football. Well, now a group called Not in Our Honor, a coalition, is asking the Chiefs to change its name and drop the Native American motif altogether. They are accusing it of being racist. Some members of the group gathered outside the stadium before the Monday Night Football game to protest and to demonstrate. In 2020, the Chiefs banned overt displays like headdresses and appropriate face paintings. Those came after discussions with local Native leaders. Then, and now the team has committed to traditions that honor rather than mocking the traditions of the history of indigenous American people. But some natives want the team to drop all connections with the history. An accompanying petition from the group to change the name has garnered nearly 15,000 signatures at the time of this being written. A name change is a big question that might be more complex than people realize. Obviously, there are plenty of commercial reasons for and against changing the name. The name and trademarks has plenty of capital that goes back to plenty of years. An entire brand can be extremely expensive, both in terms of costs to generate a new brand, while also more or less abandoning the old one. On the other hand, a new logo and a team name would mean fans get to wear new gear. What better time to do that than now when interest in the team is at an all-time high, propelled by star quarterback Patrick Mahomes. At the same time, the Chiefs have sought to give a legitimate voice to Native groups with partnerships. A name change may stifle that platform and put an end to some of those discussions when they are needed to preserve the history and memory of the indigenous Americans. While clearly not all natives are on board, some seem to be receptive to the Chiefs' modern approach to its name and imagery. For now, the name will stay the same, but there's certainly a chance it could change down the line. You know, it's hard for any of us that aren't Native American to really talk about this, but logos aren't necessarily making fun of things. I don't look at it that way. Now, the Cleveland Indians, what is it, Chief Wahoo, right? It was called? Okay. That one was kind of making fun of it right there. The Redskin? I didn't think so. Now, the name, that's a whole different ballgame, right? The name is what's insulting to the Native Americans, so they changed the name. I thought the logo was one of the great logos of all time. And whether you're a packer or a Boilermaker or whatever, I think things are sometimes honored, or they represent things that are part of your community, your country. You're part of that world, of that region, you know, that kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily view some of this stuff like an insult. But again, I'm not Native American. So I don't know where Chiefs would be an insult. I don't know where the logo would be an insult. Okay, the word Redskin, I understand. I've read enough and found out enough that obviously had derogatory meaning to it. I think the FSU Seminoles, I don't find that insulting in any way. I think they actually are honoring it. And a great point is made in that article. You know, we do have a history. If you start erasing that history, we forget about it. And not to get too political, but even those statues that are of Confederate generals and people who had racist ties and all of that stuff, I don't believe any of that stuff should be destroyed. Now, if you don't want to put it in a outside public display, I understand that. But I don't mind it being in a museum. You know why? I think it's important to educate people on what happened in the past and who did what. So that way we don't repeat it. By trying to hide the past, that doesn't help us. That doesn't help future generations to learn from it. You know what I mean? I get you don't want to ever display anything that is negative in the history of our society, but in museums and places like that, there are plenty of things that are of horror and destruction and despair and all kinds of stuff that are not good that happen in the history of time, but it's part of our history. Okay? It's funny because where I trip out on all that stuff is, you know, when people say, well, how could they think like that 100 years ago or 200 years ago? Everybody thought like that. That's just the way it was. They didn't know any better. You know, things evolved, right? From the cavemen on. Well, you know, there were things that they thought was norm, and then eventually they figured out it wasn't the norm. What are you going to do about those people? That's just the way they were. That's how they were all raised. So we walk a fine line here between the history and then what is personal to people. You know what I'm saying? And so some of these things I don't believe are really used to insult people. I think a lot of these things I kind of find the FSU Seminoles as something that they are honoring our Native Americans in this part of our country where the Seminole Indian was obviously a major force in Florida. And so I think it's important to actually maintain that memory. You know what I'm saying? Instead of forcing people to change names and then there's no history tied to it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these nicknames is part of our history and our culture in whatever region we're part of. Like the Seminoles. So I just think we kind of walk a fine line in all of this. But I think there are ways of doing all of this where you can do it in a respectful manner. You know what I mean? And I think it's just a part of maybe sitting down with Native Americans and understanding, and then at the same time trying to explain your side too through all of this. Because for me, I you know, it's funny because I never looked at anything like an insult. I really never looked at it that way. Now, the Cleveland Indian one, yeah, okay. That one I can see where you're kind of making it a goof. You know what I'm saying? But what the Redskins and the Seminoles and the Chiefs, it never gave me the impression that they were trying to insult Indians or Native Americans. It just never gave me that impression. Now, with the Redskins, the name, okay, could we have changed it to Warriors and kept the logo? Could we have changed it to something? Could we have talked to the Native Americans and maybe there was a name that you could use that could honor and be at the same time a representative of the team? It's just I just kind of find it where, you know, sometimes in everything we're a little oversensitive about stuff when maybe what we should do is use it in order to learn from it or get better. You know, like, did we have to force the Cleveland Indians to change their name, or could they have done something and talk with tribes around the area to try to maybe adjust what you're all about so you don't change what you've been throughout your history? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like it's something that could have been worked out. And sometimes I feel that we get a little oversensitive about stuff when we're not really realistic about it at times. And everything is not meant to be an insult. But that's just me. The logo, yeah, I said that already. The logo was definitely was racist for sure. Big O, I agree 100%. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. You see that social experiment video of the petition going around campus to change the mascot from Hurricanes because it's offensive to people who no, I haven't seen it, and those people are idiots. That one I will go with just flat out idiots. You know, that article was written years ago already. And, you know, I like Linda Robertson. She's a terrific writer. Okay. That was a silly ass article she wrote years ago. She wrote an article about the Hurricanes changing because it was right after Andrew, right? I think it was right after Andrew. Stupid. Ridiculous. Hurricanes are things we deal with. It's the same thing as concussions and NFL players. Dude, you chose to buy a house in Florida. You chose to buy a house in Houston. You chose to buy a house in Mobile. You chose to buy a house in New Orleans. Hey, you chose to buy a house in the Carolinas. Guess what comes with that? Hurricanes, bitch. That's life. You want to live in Oklahoma? Guess what? You might hear the sound of a tornado coming. Rush to your basement. So what? Are we supposed to eliminate teams that are called the Tornadoes or the Cyclones? You idiots. Yeah. Give me a break. You know, we choose to do things in life. There are prices we're going to pay. Tonight, I'm going to bet on the Commanders. If I lose, that's my fault. I chose to do it. I don't get to point fingers. That's why this whole concussion thing with the NFL is a whole bunch of BS. Because I'm the guy that's been telling you from the get-go. Everybody takes risks. You know what? Dealers here at Hialeah Park, they're not taking the risk. But guess what? When you go to Vegas and you go deal, you got 8 people throwing smoke in your face. Now you're breathing up all those cigarettes. That's part of the risk. That's the way it goes, man. You want to climb the tower and be an FPNL guy? You might get electrocuted. You want to work in a mine? You got to breathe all that shit every day. You want to race horses? Guess what? You might fall off and break your leg, break your arm, break your shoulder. You might get a hoof right in your chest. Those are the risks, man. Welcome to the real world. You make your choices and then you live with them. What you don't do is point fingers and blame everybody else for the shit that happens to you. So you want to live here in South Florida. You want to live in Fort Myers. You want to live in Jacksonville. Guess what? You better be prepared for hurricanes. Don't be surprised if you get walloped. Be insured. Not surprised, be insured. Well spoken, Bingo. Sensitivity is a general now SMH. Anyway, well spoken, sir. Thank you. What else do we have here? Big O just got on the show. Don't know if you talked about this, but what did you think about Jovic with the starters last night? I love what I've seen from that kid so far. Now, let's wait now till next week in the regular season. Does he play? You remember Spo, right? You know that guy that's the coach of the team? What's he go, 8, maybe 9 deep? Maybe, if he gets to 10 on a night, it's like, oh my God, he played 10 guys. So I don't know how much he's going to play. I love what I've seen from the kid. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I like what I see from the Jamal Cain kid also. But I don't know how much they're going to play. It's Spo. He doesn't, you got to kind of earn that stuff, man. I was drunk on my bike, hit a light pole, and headbutted the light pole. No one cared. Well, you know what I think now? They should have banned all light poles. That's it. It's obviously the light pole's fault. It was in your way. How dare that light pole get in your way, sir? Seriously. And are there any teams named light poles? That nickname needs to be eliminated right now. Right now. Right now. Any light poles out there? Eliminated. Big O with how our education system is in need to teach the history of this country. All these young kids need to know how we got here and why, and we are and hopefully change for the better. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Let's see. Oh, make sure to tune into ESPN tonight to see one of the better college football uniforms of the season, the Space Game. Oh, you're talking about Central Florida. You saw that? They got the space uniforms? Yeah. Yep, they got the little space uniforms. They're trying to be the Oregon of the Southeast, changing up their uniforms and all that stuff. Look at us. We haven't won anything yet, but look at us. We can change uniforms because that's Oregon. Look at us. We win nothing, but we've got lots of uniforms. Nike does it for us. Although I tell you, at this pace, the Gridiron Football Roundtable may end up having UCF next season. We may have to put in the UCF Knights there at the pace that the Canes are going in the Seminoles right now. Overall. Oh God! Did you see Giselle liking a comment on Instagram? Whew. They already got their issues, right? Giselle and Tom, as you all know. Well, now Giselle drew some attention to herself because, Jay Shetty, who is an author and life coach, she tweeted out, "You can't be in a committed relationship with someone who is inconsistent with you." So Giselle ended up liking that post. It's got to, most of us, right? We have divorces, and the only people that know are your immediate family and friends. And when you're going through a divorce, it's such an uncomfortable situation. You're uncomfortable with the people that know you, your family members. There's all kinds of, there's either empathy or there's sadness or there's madness or there's whatever, there's all kinds of emotions involved because of whatever that relationship was to other family members and friends and things like that, right? And it's kind of an embarrassing time or an uncomfortable time. One of the two, right? Either way. I don't know personally. I hope I never find out, with my wife. But it's one of those things that I've seen it. You've seen it. We've watched other people uncomfortable. I watched my dad go through it a couple of times. And it's got to suck to then do it at a worldwide level, dude. Because Tom Brady's already an international name, and Gisele Bündchen is definitely a worldwide name. So then you've got all of that going on. So your personal life is now everybody else in the world is in on this and everything going on. God, that's got to be brutal, dude. I don't wish, divorce on anybody unless, hey, listen, if you both fall out of love, yeah, you should get divorced. And if one of you doesn't want to be with the other, then yeah, you should get divorced. But you hope that most people that get married stay married and stay happy. That's what you always hope for. But if you have to go through the breaking up, can you imagine at this level how uncomfortable that is? And everybody's like following your dirt when normally nobody would know in the world except a couple of people in your inner circle. And that's tough enough as it is. But the second you're out in the regular public, nobody knows, so it's fine. You're Tom Brady and you're Gisele Bündchen. Everybody knows you're getting a divorce wherever you go. Weird, man. That is just one where it's got to be one that you think about and you say, "Damn, this is kind of screwed up right here." By the way, Queen has a new song out. If you're into rock and roll, except for one of our listeners, "Face It Alone" is out. You can YouTube it, and this was one of the songs that was left over from a prior album from 1989, The Miracle. And so now the band is going to release an expanded 8 CD collection edition of the album November 18th, and it's going to feature 6 previously unpublished songs. And one of them is already out. There's a video with it and everything. Obviously, there's there's just images, and it's not really Freddie, singing it. He is singing it because it's a song that didn't get on an album. And let me tell you, it's an excellent song. But what I'm saying is it's not a video of them doing it because obviously Freddie's no longer with us. But it has the words and stuff, and it's called "Face It Alone." And you may want to check it out. And if you're a Queen fan, my God, how you want to get that album with 6 songs unreleased. And Queen is so damn good. I bet you 3 of those 6 songs are going to be excellent songs. This one song, "Face It Alone," that I heard this morning, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Really, really cool. What do we got? We got the latest injury report. Let me read it out for the Miami Dolphins. Okay, you go ahead, stretch it. Go ahead.
All right, so here we go.
Stretch it.
This is for participation
trophies
today. Tyron Armstead and Elijah Campbell did not practice.
Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater was limited. Eric Ezukama, limited. That's a new name on there. Clayton Flagellum, Xavier Howard, Robert Jones, Kader Kohu, Zach Sealer, Durham Smythe, and Tua were all limited. Tanner Connor, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Jones, Greg Little, Jalen Waddle, all full.
Wow.
And I guess Melvin Ingram and Ogba are now off. They got dashes.
Okay, vet rest.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Not bad.
Meanwhile, the Vikings are nobody. Everybody's at full practice.
Okay. All right. There we go. Anthony Pereira says, "I met Christopher Reeves, Superman. A few months later, he was paralyzed after falling off a horse. His choice." Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a terrible tragedy. But if you ride horses, you are correct, Anthony. It's sad, but that is something you have to be very, very careful when you ride horses. You can get thrown off a horse, man. I remember I got injured. I used to ride horses all the time. And I was pretty good at riding horses. But one time we went to this ranch and I was riding this horse that was a little hard-headed. And dude, the horse was smart enough that it got pissed at me and it rubbed up against the fence. So guess what was trapped between the fence and the horse? My right leg. And dude, he scratched up my right leg and messed up my right leg and all that. It didn't break or anything, but it was his way of kind of getting back. And I got off the horse after. I said, "Yo, this horse kind of crazy." He goes, "Yeah, he is a little tough. We forgot to tell you." I'm like, "Come on, bro." I'm like 14 or 13 or something like that. And the horse knew enough to go up against the fence and rub my leg and smash it into the fence. Too bad, so sad, bro. That's the way it goes. You know, you're gonna ride horses. This is part of the game. You're gonna go snow skiing. Do you know people break their legs and their arms and get paralyzed and die skiing all the time? And this is not a job. This is just for fun. And people die. People break legs. Risks are taken every single day. Get on I-95 and you're playing with your life every day. Yes, sir.
Al Michaels goes on a radio show.
Uh-oh.
And he says, if we don't have a better game than we had last Thursday, then I may retire. I've done pretty close to 800 NFL games, and with all due respect, guys are trying. I understand, and we all know that. But that was grim.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a highlight of Howard Cosell in one game. He goes, it's 9-6. And if you like a game of field goals, we've got one for you. Oh, man. Howard was the best. What else do we have? Good evening. Finn's up from Indiana. Thank you, sir. Big O, pretty soon we will have people protesting in favor of Dolphins, the mammal, claiming they are frustrated with the lack of championships. That would be good right there. Oh, who would you want to have a beer with? Snyder, Loria, or Dolan? Oh, my God. I'm going to go Dolan only because he plays music. Just so I can talk music with him because he knows a bunch of people. He has Madison Square Garden, so he's probably had a lot of people in the building. So I guess, I can't talk. Snyder, I'm going to want to beat up. Loria, I will beat up. Okay, Snyder, he's going to be sitting across from me, and I'm going to be like. But if you put Loria in front of me, I'm going to beat him up. Okay? At least with Dolan, so the Knicks suck. That's their problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying? But the other two guys screwed me. Okay? That's the difference there. Well, not Snyder, really, actually. But Loria did. So I'm going to go Dolan, only because of the MSG and music thing. So I could just, I won't even talk to him about sports. We'll just talk music. That's all. There you go. Jules says that my dream was to be a bull rider. Well, you may not want to do that because then we're going to have to ban bulls.
Did you see what Karen said?
Ironically, the horse's race name was On the Fence. That was good. That was good. Karen is the second jokester behind Dougie Fresh, right? Dougie Fresh is number one. Dougie Fresh comes up with the best one-liners. Then we're gonna give Karen. You're gonna get the second slot there. So nice job by you. All right. I think we are out of here. We're done. We're history. We're in the archives. We thank Marcel Louis-Jacques. We thank Alan Poupart as always. Most of all, we thank all of you for tuning in and supporting us as always. Appreciate you all, whether you're downloading the show at any time, day or night. Don't forget to always hit the like button on any of the podcasts. As you're watching here, hit the like button. Always, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And, of course, we thank Sean Stanley, the man that masters this program. We will see you tomorrow morning live from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, baby. Finest dealership in the business. And we'll be there tomorrow having some fun from 10 to 1. Y'all be good out there. Much love.